It was looking the wrong way.
Alive! It wasn't exactly the wrong way. Hello everyone, and welcome to our overly bright Twitch chat, where today we're doing something slightly different. And now your toes in our somewhat technically-ish kind of temperature water. I guess we're going to introduce ourselves. We're the Bloodthirsty Puppets. I am Blood Puppet, and I don't really know what's going on right now.
I'm keeping my head out of the chat because I put it up there.
Just, for goodness sake, who are you?
What? Who am I? I am the almighty tech puppet, and this session I will be playing an as yet unknown character. So I know I'm too high. Let me just. There we go.
This is a problem when I'm setting up the cameras and nobody's here. Alright, moving
Did
around.
you set this for a monumental height or something? It seems like it's like shrunk a foot. I know you're tiny, but.
Will you shut up? Anyway, moving around.
At least I know how our cameras are set up.
Yeah.
I am Dev, and I am quite excited and curious about what else going to go on tonight.
I'm Killican, and I'm Meryl.
Excellent, it's probably how we all feel right now. I would say that normally we'd be playing Freya Night Spice, but alas we are missing our wonderful Gronn, who is off preparing for his brother's wedding, and we're also missing Thirsty Puppet, who is off dealing with life. So I thought I wouldn't run the game with only 3 people here, because that would be silly, and I've had to rewrite the campaign twice today already. So I wasn't going to do that again. So we're going to play something slightly different. A couple of rules for chat before we start kicking things off. Firstly, don't be at all about someone's gender. Don't be at all about somebody's race. And most importantly, don't be a tool. Bitch. Bitch. It's reference to Buffy.
Yeah.
It's like you have 5 words to say what you're doing. I'm going to kill you.
Spike, actually.
Yeah.
Spike, yeah. No.
Spike.
Reference to Buffy, the show, and Spike, the character.
Yeah.
Out for a walk. Bitch. Absolutely. God's honest, my favourite bit, yeah. Absolutely, God's honest, my favourite bit. Okay, so we're going to do something slightly different tonight. So I've only prepped them very, very briefly on what's going on. So we are diceless, we are in a grimdark setting, and they have no idea who they're playing.
Grimdark setting without dice makes me nervous to begin with. It makes me think like you're going to die and there's nothing you can do about it.
Possibly. So they haven't written these characters. I've not written these characters, as you may notice. I also have no prep. I'm sitting on this side of the table because actually it just makes the cameras look better. No other real reason than that.
I am going to cut this off my head off because sitting back
Like
like that.
a big empty space over there, though.
What?
That screen.
No, but they have the pictures on them. So.
Ah.
Also, otherwise Grim would get lost, or I'd have to make a close-up on Grim's face and Grim's face only. So that wasn't going to happen. What are you doing?
I'm trying to orientate my face with the cameras.
Look, you don't need to look up at the camera the same way as you don't when I'm sitting over here. So just look at everyone else.
I think that's about the right angle.
Just have to make sure you're looking at the people that.
Yeah. Also,
Keep going.
unlike normal, we actually have the laptop facing everybody else, and so they're spending a lot of time preening and looking. All right. So
We're not normally allowed to see ourselves.
no, you're not normally allowed to see yourself. I just went to that. Okay, so I guess we better start on anything else want to shout out or question before we start.
What are we doing?
You'll find out. What's this no dice thing going on?
Yeah.
All right. So the aim of today is to basically go through the idea of playing roll and not rolling dice. So roll with an E, not roll with 2 L's. And that's what we're going for. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you want to throw a plot point at me, like, hey, maybe I was born there, go ahead and we'll see how it goes.
How about I want to throw a d12 at you?
If you want to throw a d12 at me, we could resolute that by me removing... Oh, look, all your d12s are gone. Says everyone. Please don't throw cakes at me either, I don't appreciate that.
Is that not like a critical saving throw? It's like, no, I will not die!
Yeah. I will DM for food. Okay, right.
Quick, we do a stealth check.
I hate you guys so much. Okay, right. I guess we'll start in earnest then. If nobody has any genuine questions.
So the
No. All right, that's enough. That's quite
I
enough.
was just going to say, if the camera was slightly low, they could have actually seen what I just did there. I think it was missed because the camera's slightly too high.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The camera's slightly
It
too high,
was
so they can't see
amazing.
the
It
table.
was amazing.
It was
I
amazing.
just slid one of these cakes on the table to distract the DM, and it worked.
Or NPC for food. Okay, so you 3 are. You find yourselves on a battlefield. Okay,
What sort of battlefield?
I'm getting there.
What type of stones are on this top here?
Is it grass?
Give me
mud?
3 seconds to find out how much grass, mud, and
Sand?
stones there is to do. Alright, really backing this. Okay, so you guys find yourselves on the battlefield. You can see you have been conscripted into this army, either against your will or you volunteered for it. And I'll let you guys decide in a minute which you wish to do. So this particular army that you're in, there's a huge group of you. There were probably thousands of you when you started, but you've been slowly been whittled down by the undead army, the undead horde that have been rampaging across the cities, across basically your homeland. And this is why you three really are here, because it's your home that's in danger. You know, the undead swathe that's been coming through has been setting fire to your villages, has been destroying crops, been raising back the dead, who've been originally friends, battlefield mates with you, have been raised up against you. And those you counted as brothers and sisters once now hold arms against you. And occasionally you see their generals wandering around. They tend to have trails of blue mist, blue tendrils coming out from them. But it's nothing physical, it's more ethereal. And whenever you're around the undead, you get that cold, creeping feeling as if something is definitely not right here. And that pervades every fight that you do. And you three have been pulled aside by your commander. Whether you guys wish to be part of the same unit or not, it's completely irrelevant. The commander literally, as you're fighting the undead and you duck blows, or you shoot arrows, whichever you wish to do at this particular point, a commander comes on, taps you on the shoulders, sends you out to one side. Another person jumps in, takes your place, and you see them cut down by another undead stroke. Perhaps fate has spared you, perhaps not.
Larry!
Yes, Larry curls down dead, and you hear his and he falls to the ground. And then you see him slowly raise, and you see his eyes open, and they're covered that same blue ethereal mist
I'm going to
by the
remove his head
generals.
with my greatsword.
You're not here at this point.
Oh, okay.
I'm describing what's happening as you get pulled away.
Can I not just like suddenly leap into the side of it?
Alright, so
You! I like the tuck heart of your
I
dick
leap
with me!
I leap in, kilt waving in the wind.
that's perfect.
It's a ginger beard.
As the general comes to tap you on the shoulder and pulls you away, you jump in with your greatsword as Larry goes down. You think, no, Larry! You jump in, you cleave his head from his body, knowing that Larry would not have wanted to become one of the undead. You've done perhaps a small service to him, but not enough to actually stop him from becoming undead. And
Okay.
his body falls to the ground. And you, along with your companions here, all get sent off to one side. And once the general has come to grab the last of you, he stands there. He has his helm on, but all of the the plumes have been bent and crushed. He's covered in more blood and gore than you've probably ever seen a single human being covered in. But he's still standing there resolute. He has himself a big ass hammer, and he looks pretty imposing. He's been, you guys know him. He may well have conscripted you personally, maybe not. Who knows? Depends on what you decide your background's going to be. And he looks at the three of you. He's like, you three have shown great prowess on the battlefield, and unfortunately I'm going to have to ask you to step away from this most heroic fight. And for most of you, you think, fuck from that, because this is not a fight we're winning. Anyone who would look at this battlefield knows that the living are completely outnumbered by the dead. And there's not a chance that you're actually going to get out of this alive. So unless I'm going to have to ask you to step away from the battle, but there is something most important that has to be done. We've managed to capture ourselves a prisoner from the undead army, and we cannot question him in the manner we need to upon the battlefield, and we clearly don't have the numbers. We are going to be overrun any day, any hour now. So it's going to be your three. You've all shown different prowess and different skills to escort this prisoner back to the commander, who is, as you guys know, maybe 2 days north.
Is he alive, the prisoner?
He's undead.
He's undead, as you just said. He's undead.
So he is like, yeah. When you say you've captured an undead, do you mean like it's like a skeleton or a zombie or?
The undead itself, he looks much like myself, and he's quite a tall, imposing figure, except he's undead.
Does he need his limbs?
Perhaps you shouldn't remove the limbs. It'd be more difficult to transport. You can force him to walk with limbs. You can remove the limbs. I'm not saying it's a problem, but those people who, for example, are going to need to question him later on may require them to be intact.
So they can remove the limbs.
Mm.
Remove them preemptively.
Mm.
It
Spoil
would
their
make him
fun.
more easily carryable.
If you spoil their fun, though.
Does anyone have a backpack?
We could just
Either
restrain
way.
his hands.
Either way, it doesn't really particularly matter too much. You must get him back to the commander within the next couple of days. We will hold out here as long as we can and buy you as much time, but I know it's sad that you cannot die in battle with me. And he puts the hammer head on his shoulders. But we all must carry our own burdens. So, yes.
Yes, General, sir.
Excellent. The prisoner is being held by one of our patrol units north, and he indicates a place which you guys are very familiar with. It's kind of the original staging area, where most of like the camp cooks and their stuff like that would have stayed behind to at least deal with the camp before you went actually into battle. So this is the area that he's indicating for you guys to go to. It's like, well, if nothing else, have a good death and stay dead. And he strolls off into the battlefield. So, who are you?
I am considering, like, the conversation we just had. I've decided that I'm going to be like a large ginger, kilt-clad warrior with a great sword and a spare great axe on my
Okay,
back.
so were you conscripted into the army or did you volunteer into it?
I am going to say that I like to hack undead things to death, and if someone said, come do it with us, I'd gone with them. So
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily have joined them, but I may have encountered them somewhere and then decided just to, hey, it's either like kill you or join you.
So what sort of thing did you do before the war? Before your home became threatened by the undead, which is a fairly newish occurrence to you all. It's probably only about 6-7 months.
I was a lumberjack.
You're a lumberjack.
I was a lumberjack, and I'm okay.
Excellent.
But,
Okay.
Do you wear high heels?
No, I wear solid leather boots.
With heels?
Okay.
All
All right.
well, they probably would have like some heels on them, but not.
They'd
like,
have
high
a
heels.
platform too.
They'd
Then,
have
yes.
like thick soles on them.
Okay. So yeah, you're basically clad in what you've always worn. You've worn a kilt and you've worn some sturdy boots.
Literally, I have like nothing else apart from literally just like a great axe
That's
and a great
perfect.
sword.
To be fair, maybe most of your supplies may be in the back of the camp. Entirely up to you.
It's more that the only weapons worth carrying are things that can actually dismember people. Because there's
Correct.
no point. Like, yeah, I was considering having a crossbow, but it's like, what's that going to do to an undead? It's been like, it's going to kill a living person and turn them into a zombie. So yeah, you
Okay.
need something that can hack them in half.
That's perfect. So what's your character name?
Gronn.
Gronn.
Oh.
Gronn.
Okay, so we have Gronn, the ginger-haired, kilted one with two basically bloody huge axes.
Yeah. Well, no, one huge axe, one huge sword. He's using the huge
Oh, you
sword.
sword
at the
and an
moment,
axe.
but if he loses the sword, he draws the axe.
Okay, all right, that's perfectly fine. All right, moving on.
I am a blind monk.
Okay.
Yeah, going with it.
Do you mean like blind as in cannot see at all, or just like, I can't read this script?
As in, like, supposedly you cannot see at all, but nobody will be able to tell.
Okay. You can still navigate without falling over things.
Exactly.
Okay.
You can navigate
Alright.
absolutely perfectly.
So
I was about to
essentially,
say, do you really want to be blind?
Yes.
no, it's perfectly fine.
Yes.
Essentially, you could have had your other senses
Heightened.
retuned to it or heightened. I mean, there are some
Well,
people
they're
who
mystic
are
forces.
no, not mystic forces.
Okay. Not
Well,
in
no,
this
there are
setting.
mystic.
I
There
don't
are
know.
there are mystic forces in the world, but not necessarily so much to yourself. You are, I assume, male,
Yes.
human.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. In that
I don't know
case,
if there are any races.
God's hate a man.
it's entirely up to you. You can be whatever you want. You can give it a go. You're a blind monk. I didn't realise that they go to the battlefield against the undead, but clearly they are.
Well, we're desperate.
They are desperate. Okay. In that case, yeah, you use the form like a couple of some people have developed echolocation. You're one of these people.
very
Please
well.
wander around going, go, go.
You don't need to. It's all based in your footfalls. If you wear something that is hard on your feet and you clack against something, you know that it's by the sound whether it's close or far away and how big it is. So this is actually something genuinely humans in our genuine world can do.
Yeah.
Plus, I have a staff.
You have a staff. Okay. So why are you here?
I want to say I wandered in blindly, but no. I imagine somebody came to my monastery and requested the aid of the monks.
That's fine.
Most of my friends are probably dead now.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. You know, you were there about continuing about your monastic traditions or whatever such like, and deep in prayer, meditation, and training. And yeah, essentially a young boy came to your monastery, and he was clearly beaten up and now, and he tells tales of the undead raising, and he begs your assistance, and he hands over a scroll to one of the monks who can see, and it's essentially it's
A Brian scroll.
it's word being carried by the commanders and the kings of the places that you live, begging for help against the undead and any assistance for it. You, being a proficient fighter, being able to move your way around despite being blind, you volunteered and went, yes, I'm going to do this. So what is your name?
I normally have weeks to think of this.
Told you, throwing it out on the top.
I want to say Pete. But no,
Pete's
Pete
fine.
the
I'm not
monk.
going Pete.
Why
Pete's
not?
perfectly fine.
It's fine.
Pete.
Pete. Your name is
Pete.
Pete. Too late. You said Pete.
I'm Pete.
Your name is now Pete.
Okay.
Excellent.
Pete or Pete?
Pete. Okay, and
Pete
finally
the
yourself. Who are you?
I have decided that I am going to be a short, petite woman.
Okay.
Called Lilian.
Yep.
And before the fight, she was actually part of the army anyway.
Okay, wonderful.
And I decided to make her a sergeant.
She's going to be a sergeant.
She's gonna be a
Excellent. I'm so
sergeant.
glad someone gave yourself a rank because otherwise I was going to give one out. Alright, so you're a sergeant. What are you particularly good at? Is fighting something you've always gone out and done? I.e., I am now 16, 14, 15, 13 years old and I'm now part of the army.
I am now 24.
Excellent.
And
Raised through succession, I'm assuming.
yeah, raised through succession.
You're the only one left
So-
alive from your squad.
Yeah,
Very
so,
much.
so has fighting something you've always done?
Yes, fighting is always something that I've always done.
So what do you prefer fighting with?
I prefer to fight with my fists.
Excellent, you're a bare knuckle boxer.
Bare knuckle boxer.
Okay, excellent. Yeah, okay, you can be a bare knuckle boxer. That's perfectly fine against the undead with swords.
But I obviously do carry weapons.
I've heard they're vulnerable to bruising.
Yes.
You could have like dual shields.
Yeah, that's perfectly, it's doable. You could just bash people
Bash
away.
people with shields.
Yeah, if you hit them hard enough and your shield has spikes on them, you are a winner. Not necessarily the most practical weapons or the most practical group we've ever assembled. The fighting prowess as in best of this army, no wonder we're dying.
I'm assuming I'm still allowed like a knife or something.
Yes, of course you can. Assume you have, if you can justify it to yourself, then go ahead and say you have it or do it or etc. And then, unless it's completely outlandish, I'm going to say it's possible. Alright, so as soon as you justify yourself, you don't necessarily justify it to me, but as soon as you justify it to yourself, then that's perfect.
We've
I
had
have
years of
super
looting
duper
our
spy
comrades.
That's perhaps not in this realm. You're a fighter, not a sneaky spy.
Oh.
Okay.
I would like on the way leaving the camp. I'd like to try and liberate some rations because I have none on myself.
Yes, as you see like your commander walking off the hammer and you see him like smash off one of the skulls, you can definitely loot the definitely dead corpses, not the undead corpses.
Yes.
The ones that have basically been put to rest, undead or otherwise.
It's been ripped to pieces.
Yes, essentially, heads caved in, that good jazz.
Okay.
Ripped
Yeah.
apart.
My guy tends to live in the now. He doesn't really plan
No,
ahead.
yeah, you search around it. It really doesn't take you particularly long. You find it on one of your particular unit. You find it on this young woman. She's got like stars down her face, and now her head is caved in. And you find yourself a couple of ration packs from that.
I would have. Still might.
I decide to go back to my bunk and find the rations that I can't keep there.
Okay, so your bunk per se would essentially just be the staging area. So the staging area would just be a couple of tents here and there with the field supplies and people that are tending a particular camp. So it's now you three together.
I would like to add that
Yes.
I have like a round, like domed slightly shield strapped to my back. So if we were on like soft ground and I can't use my echolocation with anything else, bang my shield.
That's amazing. That is amazing. Yes, you have this like everyone thinks it's a bit peculiar. It's like maybe you're hiding like a deformity in your shoulders. You're not hunched or anything, but maybe that's just the way you are. But yeah, you can definitely have that. That's fine. That's amazing.
Do you have a helmet?
Probably not. I have like
You need
something
ears.
covering my eyes.
Yeah, it is.
Are there any like full head helmets around on any of their bodies?
It takes you a few seconds, but yeah.
Cool.
Preferably with horns.
I'm gonna grab one and I'm gonna turn it up the wrong way around and put it over his head to protect his face.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I can't hear.
You're blind.
I'm blind. I can't hear. What's going on? Where am I?
So you'll be fine. This way.
I'm fine. I don't need that.
Oh.
I'm an extremely skilled martial artist.
Excellent, wonderful. Okay.
Did you
So-
blind yourself or were you born that way?
I was born this way.
As you guys having this conversation, you're basically making your way towards the camps. Okay.
So we've got a monk with a staff and a shield
And a scarf around his eyes.
and a scarf around his eyes. A little bit dead devil.
Not like a full overhead scarf, just like
Okay.
think more like Illidan.
Baldy Sin.
Yeah.
They've got a very short, petite woman with shields on both arms and a little tiny knife.
Yep.
I've now switched over, so I've put my great sword away and I'm holding my great axe and using it like a walking stick.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. So it's fairly evident that you two have only recently just joined the army, and your leader here, Lilian, she's a sergeant. She completely outranks you both. Yeah, so that's the essential group.
This makes a huge amount of difference to me because I basically never cared about rank in the army and don't care any more about it now.
You're basically a berserker.
Yeah, I happened to join the army because I was killing undead and the army turned up.
And I have no need for material goods.
Yeah.
That's fine, but either
But
way.
if you want to think you're in charge, go for it. That's fine.
I'm in charge, damn it.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys, after having your little bickering argument of I'm in charge, however, no, but she's in charge of no one because you two are. You two are playing like the characters are like, well, fuck you characters in everything except there are two of you. Do you mean that works well? There's one of you. Anyway, either way. So you guys have arrived. You guys have arrived at the staging area, and the staging area, compared to where you've just come from, the battlefield and all the shouting and all the clanging, the cold feeling of the undead being in the area, this is completely different. It's as if you literally walked from one scene into another, like we have just done with a dodgy transition. So you've made your way to the staging area, and it's ideal because it's almost exactly as the way you left it. So there are tents here and there. There are a couple of guys who are looking after various horses, people who are looking after the armory. You know, the odd blacksmith is here just like clanging away and forging new weapons and such like. You can hear the moans of the wounded who've actually managed to make it back and not actually, had to be killed because they're not dead, they're just unwell. Yeah, and life is basically almost as you remember it here. So what do you guys wish to do now?
I'm going to go and reclaim my horse, which is the nearest one.
Conveniently the nearest horse.
Yeah, it happens to be the nearest horse to me at the time.
Alright, as you guys walk into it and you head off to the nearest horses where they've been tied and pitched and stuff, you get there and you find this kind of brown and white horse. It looks much close enough to being your horse.
I don't actually have a horse, I'm just going to steal one.
It was going to be your horse. It's close enough to be.
No,
your
I don't want
horse.
to have a horse.
Why are you getting a horse then?
He doesn't actually have a horse.
Well, no, I don't have a horse is what I mean. I just
Okay,
want one.
alright, we'll step back and get out to the meta again. You remember how I said be reasonable with stuff? One of them is not doing that I have a horse, actually I'm stealing my horse, because anything you say I'm going to take as written.
Okay, no, I was joking. I was just going to say that my guy just walks to the in and goes, I'm going to take my
Yeah,
horse. And just
okay,
grabs
yeah,
one
so
beside
yeah,
me.
I'll step back again and we'll go back into the world which I prepped you guys with. If you say it, it becomes true if it's not outlandish.
Okay.
So it is reasonable that you would have a horse, therefore you've just come across your horse, or one that's close enough to be it. So if you say it's my horse, it is your horse.
It's going to be my horse from this moment
There
forward.
you go. Right, so if you say something, and
wasn't
if
previously
it's
my
a plot
horse.
point that I'm going to roll with, then that's what you're done. You can't just then backtrack and say I'm going to...
Yeah, so that was my character speaking as opposed to what he was actually doing.
Yes, that's fine.
We need accents.
Yeah,
We do, yeah.
because you guys aren't... You
Alright,
have no voices.
I'll try and put my barbarian accent on,
Oh, my
which may
God.
sound northern.
Bring me my horse!
Okay, full barbarian accent mode. Ah, Sonny!
Okay, alright, if you're going to do voices and you're going to do accents, please try and stick to them. It's only 3 hours, I'm sure we can pull it off.
I'll give it a go.
Alright, just stay with it.
Yeah.
We've got this.
Okay.
Okay. Right, so you basically go to the nearest set of horses and your horse named Daisy is there. She's a brown and white horse.
I have no idea what her name is, but she is now Daisy.
Her name is Daisy, yes.
Ah, Daisy!
Remember
Let's go!
remember rolling with it? Just roll with it.
Yeah.
It's good. Don't need to point out that you didn't know this before, just roll with
That's
it.
fine.
You've got this.
I mount Daisy.
Yes, you
I mount her in the riding way, not the other way.
wonderful. Alright. Okay, so yeah, you've now mounted your horse. What are you two doing?
Probably walking beside his horse then.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, it's Ivy! And point to the one next to me.
Remember God mode. Take that down a little bit. Just a little bit.
Well, I assume there's a row of horses on them.
There's a load of horses here, yeah.
Yeah, I'll point to the nearest one and say, look, it's Ivy!
You're well aware that there is a horse apparently named Ivy here. Do any of you wish to claim it? Being that if this Etin here has a horse, it's very high likelihood that you would actually have a trained war horse.
Actually, yes, I would. But it's not going to be Ivy.
No, so the trained war horses are probably kept in a different place rather than the commoner's horse. No offence, the commoner's horses. Yours would be a trained war horse. You've been in the army for many, many years, so there would be a high chance you would have a trained war horse.
I'm going to go and find my trained war
I'll
horse,
claim
Silver.
Ivy then.
Right, Silver. Silver is ironically a black horse.
Yes.
Ironically a black horse. You're claiming Ivy.
I'll claim Ivy.
Okay, Ivy is like a caramelly kind of horse. Same all over. Slightly whiter hooves, except they're not covered in dirt, but close enough. You guys are now mounted your horses. You went off and found your trained war horse. You two found your other random ass horses here. What are you guys doing now?
Which do you say was the valley?
Nope. You're in a staging area, so it's a clearing inside a wood.
Okay, well we need to get this captive first.
Yes.
Mhm.
So we're gonna head towards the captive area,
Yeah.
which was apparently in this direction. So
Yeah.
So the only information you were passed on is that the captive was being held by a patrol in the staging area.
okay,
This is the information that you've been given.
I'm
Need to go
gonna
and talk to patrol.
from my elevated position. I'm going to look around and see if I can see a patrol.
You see a bunch of people wandering around, but no one that you would identify as being this is a patrol. The patrol you're after is just essentially at the moment just a bunch of random people
Okay.
moving around.
I'll move to.
There are of course like tents and stuff and such like that.
As a sergeant, can I see if there's anyone ranked who I could ask where the correct patrol is?
So if you're riding around this particular staging post on your horses, why you wouldn't walk? I don't know. On your horses, yes, you know where the command tent would be.
I go to the command.
So yeah, you make your way to the command tent, and inside, I assume you're going to get off your horses.
Yeah,
when
we're
you
going to
tent.
get off the
Throw it
horse.
out.
Hello.
Alright, so you guys climb off your horses, you make your way into the command tent, and the kind of the two like younger guys on the door, they immediately snap a salute to you, hand on chest. And they allow you in, they recognise your rank. You two they eye with a bit of suspicion, but they allow you to pass and
As
don't
soon
make
as I
any
come
comment.
in, I'm like, "Are these lads?"
They do not stand at ease at all.
Carry on anyway.
So you're inside this command tent, and it's a pretty big place. It's been partitioned with like a couple of like hangings and such lights. And off to one side, you can see like a bunch of people wandering around in there. They've got their hands on the hilt of their swords. One of them's menacingly holding an axe, and he looks that you wouldn't want to mess with him on a dark night. And in the centre of this area, obviously not to the one side, there is like a map with a bunch of like little tokens on it representing the various forces, and you can see at an immediate glance that it's just covered in undead tokens. They're very small pockets of resistance, which is humanity, as you know. As you walk into this area, you feel that cold sensation down the back of your neck, like someone's just dropped ice water down your spine, and it just makes you want to tense and freeze into position to where you are. But everyone here seems to be trying to get past. You can see that haunted look upon their face. But yes, on the other side of this map, there is the commander of this particular outfit and a couple of his assistants, and they're moving things around and talking very animatedly with one another.
Billy, hi!
Lilian, what are you doing here? I thought you were fighting this morning.
We were, but we got pulled off. We've been told that... Really? We've been told that there's an undead person that needs questioning.
Ah, yes. I'm glad that it was yourself and these two. I guess, who are they?
We've got
Gronn!
Gronn,
And
Go on.
who keeps
And
going
Pete.
and Pete, yeah.
Nice to meet you both. I hope you two are up to the task. I know Lilian herself is.
They're good fighters.
This is all that's really needed. Yes, we have the prisoner off to one side. We can't question him here. There's a high chance that we're going to be overrun within the next hour, maybe less. But as soon as you guys can get off with him, much better. And he takes you around the side, and he pushes, as he walks in, he pushes past the two guys who are standing in a particular way. And you realise that there is, as you break into this little side room of this tent area, you realise that there are probably about 12 people surrounding this. Some of them clearly just been on patrol. You can see like wounds, bleeding, but they seem to be refusing to take away from their stance of watching this particular prisoner. The person inside, he is a very tall, very well-built undead, and you all recognise him immediately as one of the generals. You can tell the generals of the undead because as they move around, they seem to leave like a ghostly image behind them. So as they move their arm, you can sort of see that kind of blur. and you can see his eyes are actually like the darkest blue. Just not like that kind of like ethereal blue you're used to with your, you know, your companions being raised, but a very dark azure blue, and it's terrifying to see. The entire eye is blue, and you can see that, you know, his wherever he's taken wounds, he's dripping almost like wisps of black and blue. They're not there for particularly long, more like a shadow, and then they're gone. But you can see this from all the wounds he's taken. He's got wounds across his face, across his throat. He has them down his arms. And as you look at him, you can also tell that he's been tied up, very well tied up. His arms have been tied behind his back. His legs have been tied together, and those bonds have been tied together as well. So legs, hands, tied both together. So
in a bit of a fetal pig position.
yes, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
He's been tied up as such. I mean, you can clearly undo and redo the bonds should you wish. But, you know, and he's also been gagged.
Mm-hmm.
From what I know of these undead things, does cutting off their limbs risk them dying?
You don't think so?
From my knowledge of hacking undead to bits, has that ever occurred?
Not so far as you'll know.
head, I think, don't you?
Not as far as you know.
Okay.
Shall we just take him onto our horses and take him somewhere?
It's a bit risky moving, like, you know, a general that could effectively, like, you know, fight back.
Doesn't look like
He can't.
don't know what
He
he
can't
looks
do
like,
anything.
doesn't feel like he can fight back.
Well, he still has arms and legs. And,
He
you
still
know,
has
in
arms and
general.
legs, but they're currently tied up. We keep them tied up.
Accent.
Oh, sorry.
Use your character voice.
Oh, well, wouldn't hurt if it's smaller, be easier to carry and less likely to fight.
Yes, but if we were to cut his arms and legs off now, we'd have less to threaten him with.
No, we could still threaten him with quite a lot.
Either way, you guys need to make a decision shortly.
I cut his legs off.
What? As your commanding lieutenant, I demand that you get out of here.
So he's still got his arms. But
As you go forward to attempt to cut his legs off, the general puts a very strong hand on your shoulder. It's like, you were just given a command, lad, by your superior. Are you seriously going to break your word in front of me and the rest of my men?
oh, do you want us to take him or not?
You may take him, but she's your commander and she's given you an order. Do you really want to make this an issue? And he pulls out his hammer and looks at you.
Fine. Then I'll stop trying to hack his legs off. Like, alright, he's on your horse.
Fine?
Do you wish us to supply you with a different man?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'll sort it out. Thanks, Billy.
No problem. And he gives you the filthiest look.
I give him a huge smile with lots of missing teeth.
Jim walks out. You may now do as you wish with them. The guys who are, you know, the dozen or so people in here are all still got their weapons trained on him, all ready for action.
As a small petite woman, can you please put him up onto my horse?
Yep, I'll grab him. So he's got these hands tied behind his back.
Yeah, his arms tied behind his back, his feet are tied together, and there's
Yeah.
a bond. There's a link between his hands and his feet like this.
So what I'll do is I'll grab the thing and wrench it up
Yeah.
quickly, carry him across, and then just dump him on the horse.
Okay,
Yeah.
so as soon as you pick him up, your eyes cloud over, and you guys can see this. You can clearly see like a light blue light clouding over his eyes. You can't.
I can.
You can. These light blue fades across, covers your eyes, and then you're suddenly looking through somebody else's eyes, and you see this creature. And this creature is, you originally think perhaps it's just a really big dog, like a grim dog. Except as it's coming towards you, it's kind of flickering left and right like a dodgy movie. It's flickering left and right. As it gets closer to you, you realise that it's growling at you. You can feel the hot air on your face, but you can't move. You're paralysed in fear. And as it gets closer to you, you make a sudden realisation as it inches from your face. It's not moving its mouth at all, and this awful, like, growling noise is just inside your head. And you watch in terror as its jaws finally open far, far too wide and snap at your head. And then that fades out again, but that feeling like your head is in a vice isn't gone. That hot stench of animal is still up your nose and you can't change it. And that ice water down your back is more like you're being in a torrent of ice.
Can I control my body again?
Yes.
I drop the dude and step back.
As soon as you drop him, You know that feeling that when you walk into a warm place after your hands have been really, really cold, you kind of get that warm feeling and that slight pain, and then going back to being warm again. You get that within about 3 seconds. That entire experience.
No.
No. What do you mean no?
No. I'm going to get back in my horse.
So I have no idea what's happened. Like, what do you get the fuck down off your horse, man?
No. No.
You can make him walk, I'm sure.
No.
It's up to you guys. I'm not doing anything for now. It's up to you women here.
Is Billy still there?
Billy has gone back to playing with his maps.
Is there
And
anyone?
Gronn has apparently just stormed out like, nope, I'm nope training out of this.
Yep, I noped the fuck out of it. I literally just nope.
Aside from the monk, is there anyone else in the room?
Oh yeah, there's like 12 guards. They've all got weapons trained at him, but they're not touching him. They're nowhere near him.
Could one of you guys pop him up on my horse quickly, please?
The guy with the crossbow looks at you and is like, see that one? That's all of us. We've all been through this. We've done our time.
What?
We've all done our time moving him here. None of us, and I'm pretty sure I speak for all of us, are going to move him for you. He's your problem now.
Great. You didn't move him at all.
You jumped him like 3 inches closer to the door.
While I'm outside on my horse, if I look around, can I see any rope?
There's plenty of rope. You're in the middle of a camp.
Okay, I'm going to ride over, grab some rope, and tie it to the back of my
Horse.
back of the saddle of
Back
the
on the
horse.
saddle? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
possible.
and then walk back through.
Yep.
And tie it round to the rope
Okay,
around
so
like
the
his
rope
neck.
isn't quite long enough. You get your horse's ass in there, but the rope's still with it. The horse, it still would be long, and your horse would not be particularly good in this tent. It's slightly too low for
Okay,
it.
so
So you can get the rope most of the way
I'll leave
there.
the horse there. I'll go into a thing, and I'll use my axe like a hook and drag the dude.
Are you going to
out.
explain to the rest of your companions what you're doing?
And why?
And why?
I'm like, well, I don't want to carry him, but
Why?
well, do you want to touch him? Go on.
I touched the rope.
Alright, as you touch the rope, it feels cold and a bit awkward, but nothing like really, I think, too bad.
There's nothing wrong with this.
Huh. I'll bring him this way then.
Pick up.
As soon as you lift him slightly off the ground,
Yeah.
your eyes fade over and you can't move. You know, your eyes fade over the blue mist, you're seeing this, the guards around are seeing this, you're like, what the hell's going on?
I can feel what's happening.
You can feel what's happening, and you get exactly the same response. You are looking through the eyes of a dead man, essentially how you feel. You can't move, everything is cold. And what you see approaching you is a series of very tall, very thin women, like maybe 8-9 feet, but almost as if they've been stretched from being 5 foot high to being like basically 8 or 9. Is very tall. Everything is long and very gangly, and they're moving and swaying from side to side, and you hear them like and they're slowly coming at you, and you see their fingers are elongated and their nails are scraped down the side of your face. As one of them comes to attack your neck, the other side goes to the other side of your neck, and the other one just fades into your face. Everything goes dark, and then you're back in the room able to move. You still have that awfully cold feeling, like someone's invading your head, like someone's attacking your neck, and you feel like your shoulders are hunched with how cold you suddenly feel.
Upon seeing that her eyes have gone over like that, and not having seen this kind of thing before, I think she may be becoming undead, so I've readied my axe in case I need to take her down.
I assume my eyes.
Yeah, your eyes now come back to normal again.
Put down your axe, man.
What the hell? The eyes, they just went like...
Exactly what your eyes did. Now, come on. I continue. I don't put the dude down.
Okay. Every step feels like you are having to fight the biggest headache known to man. Like every footfall is like a pain to you, and you eventually. It takes a long time. Like you're trying. Like if you're pulling something big and you have to get it on the roll, you basically are beginning to do that, and eventually you pick up a bit of a pace. But every footfall is almost painful to you. By the time you eventually get him to the rope, which will attach him to the back of this horse.
Okay. I put him down.
You put him down. As soon as you put him down, your entire body feels warm, and you feel so much better, and it's almost as if your mind is cleared. But that clamping feeling around your throat hasn't quite gone yet.
Okay. Tie him to the rope.
Oh, time to the back of my horse.
Okay, you've managed to are you tying him on the horse?
No, to the floor.
You're going to drag him behind. Okay.
Surely we're not going to do that.
Why?
Savage.
Yeah.
We're
Wait.
not savages.
I am.
Wait, you wouldn't actually say that you were doing that, so how would you know that's what we were planning on doing?
What we'll go is we'll go with a degree of him actually being able to sense certain things, like things being bounced off. There are
He's
certain
faking it. He's not really
I'm
doing it.
aware
Right.
of my surroundings. I know what's happening.
Yeah, that you can be very aware of your sounds, like someone moving something across the ground, the sound of a rope tying, the sound of like a body's being contorted. You can hear that. Maybe not necessarily exactly what's going on, but you can be close enough. So
I
we'll
know
go
he
with a
hasn't
degree.
been untied enough to be able to walk.
Yeah, essentially, Pete is going to be able to be aware enough of things that are moving and going on around him, but he's not going to tell you what colour they are. He won't be able to tell exactly how this dude's tied up, but he knows from the way that it moves and the sounds that something is tied up.
Okay.
So if it moves, we assume that he can see it. If
Okay.
it's stationary, we assume he can't, and he also can't tell you what colour it is.
I'm going to assume
Maybe.
my character did actually just say that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my character did reply like, he's faking it, he can't see.
Okay. Rather than us dragging him along by the horse, tie the rope to his hands area, to his hands area, and
Bring his
untie him.
hands to the front.
Do that too.
Better to have his hands
Still.
behind him.
I know it's better, but it's a bit cruel making him try and run backwards.
Touching this thing gave me visions of hell. I don't want this thing touching me.
Good point. Anyway, just untie his legs so that he can walk.
Yeah, I'll cut the bit holding his legs in place, so his hands are still tied behind him.
Yep.
And then just like have the rope tied around the bit around his wrists.
Yep, so we just tied around his. Okay, so go on.
You could always tie a rope to his hands behind his back. We've also got a rope coming around the front, so his hands are actually attached to his back.
Yeah.
And then you can attach the rope to it.
As I'm
Yeah,
doing it,
that's
you
better,
can
yeah.
suggest that to me, and I'll like, yeah, all right.
Yep.
Redo it.
That's essentially what happened. You've managed to tie a rope from behind his wrists up to the back of your horse's saddle.
I get back onto my stallion.
Your stallion. Stallion named Silver, the black horse named Silver. Fantastic. I love this so much. Okay, yeah, you guys now have the prisoner.
Right, let's go.
Lead on.
I lead on to an abandoned cabin.
As we're,
You're going to an abandoned cabin.
I assume you're going first.
Yeah.
Then it's me, then him there.
Yeah.
Alright, as we go off, like, you keep an eye on the back. I grin loudly.
You grin loud.
I grin loudly.
You grin enough so that he can hear you.
Basically I guffaw and laugh loudly.
Oh. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Okay, I obviously am not going to an abandoned cabin or wherever.
You could go to an abandoned cabin should you wish.
Where
you know of an abandoned cabin.
We were told where we
Well,
need to take them, weren't we?
Were we?
Were we? I don't know, were we?
I don't think so.
Where are the army headquarters?
I'm not giving you any more information. You
No,
already
I'm
have
asking
this
her.
information.
She's the captain.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
awesome.
we've been told
I've
this.
told you this information. Whether or not I have told you information, I'm not going to repeat things. As an FYI.
Yeah.
So if you guys forget,
Yeah,
You've
we
forgotten.
haven't actually been told where
Well,
to
you saw
take
the
him.
map just now.
Yeah.
I swear we were told something that's 2 days away.
don't look at me.
I don't
pay
plan this
attention.
stuff.
If you're
Go and
watching,
ask
can
her.
you tell
No,
us?
we'll have no backseat DMing thing. No backseat play.
Shall we
So,
ask
since
Phil?
you guys have forgotten what's going on, do you wish to go talk to anyone?
Yeah, I'll go and talk to Billy again.
What are you
I'll
doing
wait
back,
here,
Lillian?
you know, horse.
When,
You need to be gone already.
yes, I know, we're literally about to leave. Where are we taking him again?
Did he not tell you?
No.
Well, he's probably dead, so I can't really reprimand him. You're taking him back to the commander. You know,
Oh,
two days north from here.
Oh, of course. Okay, no problem. I'll take him there.
Excellent.
Thank
You would know where this is.
Yeah.
You know where the commander is.
Yeah.
The one that actually warrants the word "the" in front of his name. The commander. You'd know where he is.
All right. I go back out, get on my stallion, and like, come on, to the commander.
Wow. So
I carry on at a sedate pace after, knowing that we have 2 days' travel ahead.
And a prisoner.
And a
can't run
prisoner.
as fast.
We make him run.
How is the prisoner reacting, by the way? Is he just following along happily?
happy is not the word I'd use.
Well, he's like an undead
Is he
abomination.
compliant?
Compliant. So
Yeah.
as he's being drawn along, probably about 10 minutes into it, after having his arms tied behind his back, You looking straight forward, you're just aware of what's going on around you. You're aware that he's kind of beginning to struggle against the ropes a little bit, but he's still keeping pace with the pace that you've set.
Every time he struggles, can I just like, just whack an arm?
Yeah, so you just like reach your thing out. You can just get it past your horse, just enough to tap him on the back of the head. You're also aware that he's moving a lot. You're aware that he's moving a lot more than just walking, but you're not entirely sure yourself what's going on because you can't see him. So yeah, you're aware that there's a lot of movement going on. You're still looking forward. So
I'll glance back occasionally, but I'm not.
right,
I'm
the
not
first
focusing.
time you glance back, you can see his shoulders are dislocated and his arms are slowly like twisting around his head, and his head's sort of like stuck between one arm, and then you hear and you hear the bones crack in his skull, and so do you. And his head almost gets smaller, and he pulls his head back, and you see that kind of like ghost image, that kind of like bluish vapor, as he pulls his head back, and everything goes back to normal. You hear like the reflexive crack back as his skull makes himself forward, and you realise he's now got his arms in front of him.
Let me tie those two then.
You tied his arms up, and then you tied a rope around him, but he's managed to contort himself. So
No,
his
I mean,
arms are
like
forward.
when his arms were behind him.
Yeah.
The rope was around his waist and around his rear.
I call back to you at this point.
Yeah, you've had the cracking, you've had the reflective crack back.
Alright.
He just-
Everything all right back there, Gronn?
Well, he's freed his arms.
His arms, his wrists are still tied together.
He doesn't need his arms. Come on. Be reasonable.
All right. Jump off and cut his arms off.
Okay.
Alright, you stop, and you're going to cut his arms off with...
My great axe.
Okay, as you stand there, it just looks at you, and you swing your axe.
I kick him to the ground first.
You can kick at the back of his legs, and he drops to his knees, but he doesn't make a sound.
Okay.
You don't even... You're aware that he doesn't even really make much of a sound as he impacts the ground.
Yeah, so when he's on the floor, I'll remove first one arm, then the other.
Alright,
If I
so
can.
as you swing one weapon, it cleaves perfectly through his shoulder, and his left arm just hangs limply. Again, he doesn't really react. You hear like the thud and the crack of bone and you know, muscles being ripped. He doesn't seem to react. And as you swing the other one down, his arm just detached and his hands just roll away. And then he looks up at you all. And he gives this wicked smile, a smile that's too big for his face. One where the edges almost go up to the side of his eyes, and his jaw drops a little bit, and you can see like the rows of sharpened teeth. And he bolts. He runs.
He's still laying on the floor, isn't he?
And still attached to the horse.
No, he's not.
Well, no,
because
because
you
it was
cut
his-
his ropes and you cut his arms off.
It was around his waist.
Yeah, and he's done all that, so his arms are just tied in front of him.
Yeah, but say he was laying. Okay.
Wait,
So-
how is he free?
Because you just cut his arms off.
Because
His
he was
arms are
attached by
tied
his
together.
arms.
Yeah.
He's cut his arms off.
As I said, he contorted himself out and around, so it's just his hand in front of him.
Before
Yeah, but we still had the rope around him.
Contorted.
Yeah,
Everything's
but
gone up and over with him.
put
he
it
untied it around his
Yeah.
waist and pulled it over his head.
Yeah, pretty much everything has, in the way he's basically contorted everything, so his wrists were tied together. And you would probably assume that he was in the process of undoing his wrists and getting out of that, but you guys decided to cut his arms off first, so you've made that problem a lot easier for him. But yeah, as you've done that, and he struggles himself back up, he bolts, he goes.
Sorry, but surely we would have noticed that doing that would have freed him.
You had the blind person watching him.
Yeah.
And this guy made very
But surely-
little noise.
But surely you, the person who isn't blind and cutting off his arms.
But he was on the horse looking forward. That's why I double checked what he was doing.
Well,
Yeah.
And he heard reflexive cracks.
No, but when he gets off to go and
Well,
cut
he's
off.
done it now, so.
Yeah, I mean,
No.
I know
There's
he's
no
done-
point.
No, no.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, when he gets off of his horse to go and cut off the arms, surely when he's about to cut the arms off, he'll be able to notice that only the wrists are actually attached.
Yeah, and that's actually what I said.
Yeah.
His wrists are tied together. That's
So
what
I knocked him to the
information I
floor.
Yeah.
Cut off his arms, and now he's stood up and started running.
Can I trample him with my horse?
Well, I was going to say
gave.
before.
You can. You're still on your horse.
yeah,
as far as
that's
I'm
it.
aware.
I'm just going to
I'll
trample
say
him down.
because he was on his knees before. I
Yep.
assume he's had to stand up.
He's
first.
had to basically get up and
Can
then
I
he's
can I
had to
attempt
rush.
to hack at his knee with my axe before he runs away?
Yes, I'm going to definitely say that's hilarious. All right, so you've gone to slash at his knee and you've taken out that kind of joint behind the knee and you see his kneecap just fly forward and it bounces and cracks and you see it shatter against a very hard rock. And as he's stumbling forward, the monk on his horse has basically like pounded his way forward and your horse has gone over the top of him and he hasn't quite managed to do it, but you've managed to get your horse on control. He pounds backwards and forwards and this guy's definitely like under the hooves of the horse. It's not wanting to do this, but you're forcing your horse to do this.
I'm like, all right, I think we got him now. If you back up for a second. Is the so he's lost like one leg from the knee down.
Yeah, so he basically has no knee on his. Let's say the right. You took out the right leg, or the right bottom leg, and both his arms are missing.
He's horribly uneven. I can fix this.
You just
Take off the other leg.
Just take off the other leg.
All right, yeah. So you take off the other knee, and again, he doesn't really react, but you do get you have that nice sensation of cracking through someone's kneecap. It is a wonderful feeling.
Okay.
I turn around my stallion and I just look down at him and go, all right, wise guy, how do you expect us to get him to the commander 2 days away from here now?
Can I have your blanket?
What blanket?
You'd have a blanket on the back of your horse, yeah.
Why do you want my blanket?
So, make a little cradle for him. Poor little guy. Can't walk now.
Yes, it is your fault he can't walk. Give him my blanket. Here.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap the body up in the blanket, so it's going to completely sealed. I'm then going to take off my kilt.
Okay.
Take off your kilt.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. Hold this, and I'll pass you like the torso of the dude to hold in his blanket.
You're holding onto the dude. All right. As you hold onto the dude, you guys see that his eyes mist over with blue.
No, you don't.
Oh no, we don't see
it.
it.
Actually, they do. They see a glow from underneath your bandage.
Oh, cool. It glows.
There's a glow. There is a very faint glow, and you're seeing it through the cloth because I think that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I don't know what's under your bandage until you take it off. Right now, they're just glowing blue. So it glows blue, and you immediately stiffen up, and you feel like again you're staring through the eyes of a dead person.
I can see?
Yes, you can in fact see. But the visions before you are not ones that you'd want to see. You are well aware that you're in a room that you would consider probably no bigger than your cell. You know, the one that you would have slept back in at the monastery. And you're aware that you're seeing colours on the wall, and your mind instantly goes to what that is. And on the walls you see dripping down there are trails of blood. And they start as a very slow drip, and then they become almost like a waterfall, like a river rushing down. And this begins to fill up the room, and you can feel your legs slowly getting damp and wet. And as you look down, you feel that the blood coming up to your waist, slowly getting higher and higher up to your chest. They hit over your shoulders, but you can't move. You try and put your arms out to like reach towards the ceiling, but you can't. Your feet are nailed to the ground, and you look up and you're well aware that 2 or 3 feet to the ceiling before anything can happen. But you can see this blood rising. Eventually, it hits the bottom, and you taste that sickly iron taste of a lot of blood pouring into your mouth, and you can't do anything except open your mouth to scream. But no sound comes out as blood rushes down and pours down your throat. It continues to go up, and you reflexively you can't do anything else. You breathe and blood goes up your nose. It covers your eyes, and your eyes are just filled with red. You can see the outlines of some things but nothing more. And it gets higher and higher, and eventually everything drains down. When you think you're about to drown, it just drains down very slowly. And as all the blood recedes, almost drunk by the stones of the ground, you see these big blue runes, strange words and strange things you don't quite understand. And then you're back.
You're right there.
I'm basically like, just like
Pete,
I instantly let go and it's like go straight to my eye, just like.
Pete, you alright?
I think I could see.
Yes, you still can't see. You're blind.
No, I wasn't. I could see.
Yeah.
I'm although horrified, I saw red and blue for the first time ever.
Nice. Pick him back up.
Well, I assume red and blue.
You know instinctively that's what they are.
Nice. Now pick him back up.
Come on.
Pick him up.
Good luck, lad. You can do it. Come
As
on.
the commanding officer, I demand you pick him back up.
I picked him up just now and I was fine. I think once you've had your head screwed with, you can't do it again.
Pick him up.
Sound reasoning.
That is, I am willing to stake my reputation. That is exactly what happens.
Try it.
Instead of picking him up,
Or
I use
propping
my
him up.
staff, but basically just put it under him and lever him up a bit. Upright.
I'm going to basically kind of squat down and wrap my kilt around the back of it, so I'm basically strapping him to my back a bit like a baby carrier.
Okay.
So
Wow.
my kilt is now a lot shorter and doesn't really cover my balls properly.
Oh
So it
god.
does basically tie this thing to me.
It's the only female. Like, oh god.
So hang on a minute, I need to double check this right. You wrapped him in a blanket.
Yeah, so like
So none of his
parts
skin
his
can
flesh,
touch
but
you, yeah?
also he can't bite me.
Yeah, you can also come back you.
Yeah.
So his head is facing away from your back.
Yeah.
And you've tied him using your kilt to your
Yeah,
body.
basically I've got him on this long
This
kilt.
is
which
the
all in one.
greatest thing
This
I
is
think
like
I've ever
30
heard.
foot of tartan I just wrapped
Okay,
around him and
yep.
lashed him to myself with.
That's,
So I'm
that's
now going to mount back
fantastic.
onto my horse. And as we start riding, I'm like, he ain't running now.
No, he ain't.
Okay, we will get back to that in a moment because that was too funny. Alright, so yeah, you've strapped him to your back like a man carrying a baby, except it's an undead general with like stumps
No
and legs
arms.
to his knees and no arms.
Arms.
Wow, that's
Run away on them, lad.
that's unbelievably hilarious. Alright, you managed to tie him to your back. What do you guys want to do now?
We continue towards the general.
Okay,
No, not general, the commander.
yeah, to the commander. So as you guys, this is too funny. I'm so glad you did that. So as you guys are making your way away from the staging area through the trees, I say it's probably only about 10-15 minutes out that this thing starts to do its contorting thing to get out of its bonds. You make your way up this hill. It's probably about an hour later after you felt that you've been beginning to feel very cold, like it permeates from the tartan wrapped around you, and you can feel it slowly sinking its way through your back. Like you've held your hands at the computer for a little bit too long and they've got that kind of really cold, chilly feeling to them.
I mean, you're not typing fast
It
enough.
means you're talking about else. It means you're not moving your back fast enough. So you get that feeling starting in the centre of your back and you know it's coming from this creature and it's just permeating through. It's not like terrible right now, but you know much longer it's going to be really
How's my horse?
Your horse is Daisy is responding in exactly the same way she always has.
So
She
she
doesn't
doesn't seem to be affected by it.
She doesn't seem to be too affected by it, but then again, you've only been running for an hour and 10, and you're the one closest to it. Okay, so you guys, you say you've been about an hour and 15 out from the staging area, and you crest a hill. And as you get to the top of the hill, you'll realise if you look around, you can see where this huge battle had been happening, the fight that you guys were taken away from. And you can see that there's that river that you're aware of that was like between side A and side B. And as you look across, you can see the few pockets of resistance, the few like humans in small groups, and you watch as you see like this kind of small group, this person with like a huge plume on his head covered in like what you would assume some sort of blood and gore. This figure covered in red, basically viscera, and you can see him cleaving with a hammer, and there are a couple of people standing around him, and you see them drop down, and you see the undead launch upon him, and he's surrounded on all sides, and you can see like some of those undead like beginning to, some of the fallen humans begin to rise and take down this huge figure, the figure that you knew that was strolling around with a hammer not but an hour and a half ago. You see him being taken down, and you see that the undead have just swarmed across the remaining humans. And you can see that they're making their way through the forest. You can see by the movement and rustling of the trees, things are beginning to fall down in the path. You see a couple of trees actually hit the deck as some of the larger undead crash into them. And you're well aware they're probably not much more than 10-15 minutes from the staging post you just left. What do you guys want to do?
Lads, we need to get going rather sharpish.
I like nod and just like kind of salute the efforts of the soldiers down there, and then turn off and follow you.
I say, short prayer.
Alright.
You actually find some comfort in that. That cold feeling from being around the undead. You actually feeling that there's a fire beginning in your chest, and it's slowly spreading out. That moment of hope, that moment of connection with your deity, it's actually filling you with warmth and hope. And it's not a massive fight against the cold water of the undead, but there is a resistance of flame there. Okay.
Alright, we're no longer at trotting place, we're gonna canter all the way there.
You're going to canter all the way there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick time check. So it's actually
Not canter, gallop.
a gallop. You're going for a gallop. Well, that's going to wear the horses out.
I would.
I'm not a horse person, but I wear that's probably wear the horses out.
It will.
I
We'll gallop for as long as the horses can gallop.
Okay, that's fine.
That'll slow us down.
in the long term, I mean, assuming like you're like a military person who's done that a lot, basically wearing a horse out will in the long term slow you down. It'll give you a short burst of speed, and then once that the horse will be tired and have to walk slowly.
Actually, let's hark back to something you knew about. You mentioned an abandoned cabin in jest earlier.
Yes.
You're actually aware that probably on the other side of a gallop, which you could push these horses almost to the max, to the point where you wouldn't be able to ride these horses again. These horses, if they were in a race, would probably be shot. These horses would be no good. But you know that if you press hard for the next, I don't know, let's say 2 hours is reasonable for this. I don't know, I'm not a horse person, but we'll say 2 hours. It will get you to the other side. It will get you to like the first hour of night. But you also know that nearby there is actually a small, there's a small village. You're very well aware of this because this is a place that you may have passed through, you may have trained here, you may, I don't know, you can decide your connection to this particular place, but you are aware of this place, probably about a 2 hours push from here, and it would end up being like 1 hour after night begins.
But we basically have to shoot the horses.
Yeah, the horses would not be fit for anything after.
You could just go slower. We just get there later.
Let's just go slower.
I
want to keep silver.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, this is a trained war horse. Your war horse would be able to gallop for probably a bit longer than these two commoner horses.
Yeah.
So
I think my horse has more stamina, but only at slower speed.
All right. Well, canter.
slow and steady wins the race, yeah?
I'm more thinking it's kind of a plough horse type thing.
Yeah, that's exactly
it
what I
can
was
walk
thinking.
all day, but it can only run for like 5 minutes.
All right, guys, let's canter. Come on.
All right, we'll do a quick rush to get us ahead of everything else, and then just slow down to like a trot.
Yes.
Okay.
Canter to trot to canter to trot.
So you guys still heading straight there?
Do some
Are you heading-
high intensity training.
Rising trot.
Okay, you guys go for it. You go for a canter. You go for a few hours. Are you planning on stopping, or what are you guys planning on doing? I would hasten to add, you have been fighting for a majority of the day against the undead, so you are actually pretty knackered anyway. You have done almost a full day's fight. You have just had to hack off some things, and you've all seen pretty awful things, and it is getting to night. Well, let's say it is night now. You're about an hour and a half into night if you're only cantering for.
How far would we be away from that little place that you're saying?
If you're cantering, it would probably be about, I don't know, you're probably 2 hours into night before you could see it, and then you probably reckon you'd be about another half hour.
All right, if we gallop, if we trot for about another hour, then half hour, then we can make it down to our little village, and I used to train there, and I know a place.
I like grunt and nod. I'm trying to kind of like just endure this.
Okay, so yeah, being there much further, you can having been let's say about 3 hours through. Let's be nice, 3 hours, and then you're about to get to the village half an hour now. Your entire back is cold. Your shoulders are almost frozen into place. You could barely move your arms. You can only really move your forearms and your hands with any great ability. Rolling your neck, forget it. That's not happening. The cold is seeped down your ears, and it's just filling your head with cold awfulness, and it's spread forward into your body, and it makes you want to physically be sick. Is how cold and how unfeeling you are right now. It's just not something you want to do. And you've also noticed that the edge of your vision has gone slightly red, but you're not sure why. This is not normal being cold.
Yeah. I'm at the moment just kind of like manning it out. And basically the horse is steering and following the other horses. I'm literally just like hanging on, just like, I will not give in to this.
You haven't felt the general, sorry, you haven't felt the general, goodness sake. You haven't felt the creature on your back move since you've tied it there.
Yeah.
So, that's where we are.
Yeah, I'm basically just like kind of got my head down now.
Yeah.
And I'm basically just like kind of slumped forward on the horse and just like letting the horse basically follow you forward.
Yeah, this giant gingerhead barbarian sort of collapsed over his horse, with his nuts freely being felt in the wind. They're definitely pretty cold right now.
Definitely a severe case of blue balls going on right now.
Alright, yeah, so that's where you are. So yeah, you're a half hour, unless you want to do anything with your companion, then yeah, fine. You managed to make your way to the village. From your viewpoint, being a bit closer, say about 15 minutes out, which you would assume from just a general trot, you're well aware that there are no noises coming from the village. There's none of the hustle and bustle we expect from a small little village. I mean, this primarily dealt with making a couple of swords, shields and stuff, doing the survival training to learn how to live in the woods. And you're aware that there is no noise. And then it becomes distinctly aware you haven't heard any noise, not even the movement of small animals, not even crickets or birds. You haven't heard this in about the last hour or so.
Lads, be aware. There's something fishy.
I'm not even going to respond to that. I'm just going to...
Gronn, you alright? Okay. Pete, you alright about this?
Yes.
You still feel that slight warm feeling in your chest. You're actually not feeling awful.
But I can feel the situation.
Yes, you can sense the situation is dire.
Well,
Have we actually made it into the houses yet?
So you're about 15 minutes out, and I'm saying you realise that there's no noises at all coming from the village. In fact, you haven't heard any noise for a while.
Yeah. I'm only aware of roughly a 15-foot area around me. Literally,
You basically melded to your horse at this
Yeah,
point. You were the
basically.
horse for one.
Once I can see houses around me, I'm basically going to collapse off the horse onto the ground.
Okay. Alright, so thanks for ethics. Okay, so yeah, you are going straight into the village. Are you going on horseback? Are you getting off your horses? Are you going to saunter up, like brandishing your swords and your shields, like, haha, we're here? How are you approaching this village?
I'm going to valiantly fall off my horse at it.
No,
Okay,
no,
wait. You can fall off the horse.
I'll wait for you.
We'll wait for that. Yeah.
we're gonna go in on horses and we're gonna head towards a little abandoned cabin that I'm aware of.
Okay, so the reason you know that this is abandoned is that your grandparents used to live there.
Yeah.
They are no longer with us, unfortunately, but you are aware of this place. This belongs to you. This little house. The little house, you're aware that it has it's like 2 down, 2 up sort of thing. So there are two in the lower end, so the reception area, kitchen area, and upstairs you have like 2 of the bedroom type things. You're also aware that underneath there is just do it. There's a cellar which spans like the expanse of it, and you're aware that you sort of like in the area would be like the remains of your grandparents, because you would have buried them perhaps under the tree, or put a tree on top of them. Let's put it like that.
Trees are good for holding down.
Yeah, exactly. You trained here, and this particular place belongs to you. There are probably only about a dozen places here. One being the blacksmith, and the family does that. Bakery, an inn, and a couple of little houses mainly geared towards like hunters and travellers and stuff. So. This is where you find yourself. You're going up the main street. Your little abandoned house is on the other side of this particular village. It's sort of on the outskirts, but close enough to be part of life. But
I'm assuming it doesn't have any gates or walls or anything then.
It would have like a little picket fence just around most of these places, just to say this is my area, but not enough to say you can't come in here. So enough to give the illusion of like this is specifically where I can grow my flowers. I'm not going to interrupt with how you want to do your decor in your garden, but it's enough to give that illusion.
So it's not a defensive village at all?
No, not at all. It's literally just a little hamlet.
That's fine.
And again, as you get closer, you realise that there are no lights on anywhere. There is no sound at all.
I think this village may be a bit abandoned now. Anyway, this is where we're stopping for the night.
Cool. I'll take that as my cue to collapse off my
Now
horse.
you may closer. So have you guys? I'm going to say you're only halfway into the village when you declare that this is where we're stopping, and your house is above. And as soon as you hear that moment, you think it's like that moment when you see your house and you really need to be, and then it's too late.
What? You just piss yourself off? I was so close.
It's that annoying thing where you are literally like 3 steps from the bathroom,
And you start going, no, right. Just jingle those last 3 steps. Like, no.
you actually have that moment. You think we're here, we're here, and we're about to. But all you hear is we're here. And you fall off your horse, smack, face down into the dirt. Daisy canters off to one side, a bit surprised, but she's still staying within area. You guys are aware he's just fallen off with a resounding thunk.
I may possibly piss myself when I hit the floor.
You can't tell; it's so cold.
No, I can't tell. It's just like probably.
So as you get there, that cold feeling has intensified. That vision of red around the edge of your vision has completely clouded over. Everything is tinted with red, but not like the anger red that you're used to in Berserk, but more like the you're fucked red. Sorry,
you are low health. Please duck into cover now.
Yes, your mana is low, that sort of thing. So that
I'm going to attempt to kind of like undo myself in this thing, but I've obviously got 30 foot of cloth wrapping me up on this thing. So
as you land and you begin to struggle against it, your vision drastically changes. You're no longer seeing through the eyes of a dead person. You're seeing through your eyes, because you know that when you grab your chest to try and pull apart this cloth, it's turned into chains, like icy chains, like chains made of ice. They're not made of iron. They're just that, and you touch them and you get that cold burning feeling as if you touched metal on a cold day, which with hands that are slightly wet, that kind of like, don't put your tongue against the cold thing. Yeah. You have that feeling with your hands, you touch it, it almost burns you with how cold it is. And you're trying to do this, but your hands just won't grip properly on it, and it burns.
It's like, feeling like the pain there, so that's going to like actually start making me angry, so I'm more just going to like grip it, and as it just burns,
as you're trying
more like,
as you're grabbing hold of this, your anger fills you, and you feel like there's the strength returning to your arms. it seems to make no sense at all. It doesn't seem to be like you're pulling anything. You manage to pull one, but your hands just go.
Can we assist?
You can in a moment. Your hands just go, and it just pulls through it, almost as if your hands have gone through the icy chains themselves, and you almost feel that cold burn as they would pass through your skin. Now you guys can do something.
I jump down from Silver and take my little knife and just basically cut the dead general off of him.
The dead guy.
The dead guy off of him.
The dead guy. All right, yeah. So yeah, you're very easy. You're both very easily able to help him out with that. You can tell that he's moving, and his arms suddenly get a spurt of strength as they pull these things apart, and he kind of lets out this moan of pain as his hands do a sudden jerking motion. But he seems to not be able to move or do anything other than make the occasional grunt and a spasmodic move. He's essentially incapacitated right now.
Is he? What are you wearing? Are you wearing? Do you have like a
Nothing,
top?
He's now
No,
wearing
literally,
nothing.
I had a kilt, which is basically like a long length of
So you
cloth,
don't
which you
have
just wrap around
a
yourself. No, that was
No.
that was that.
So that the old kilts would literally weigh like 30 foot or something, 30
Okay.
meters of
Yeah.
cloth. You would
Well,
wrap
it's
around
30
your
foot
waist and put over your
In that
shoulders.
case, I go to grab him like that, but end up grabbing his beard and trying to pull him forward. I guess.
Pull me forward by the. Can they drag me a foot by the beard? Just be like, me just going, ah!
Yeah, in your strange vision, you can feel these claws attacking your face, and it's almost like they're ripping like the roots of your beard out. That's what you feel right now.
Okay.
You have managed to free him using your little knife. You have managed to move him away from the corpse somewhat.
Bear in mind, I would very quickly realise I've just grabbed his beard and probably let
Yeah,
go
yeah,
and
yeah,
grab
that's
my shoulders
fine,
instead.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, what do you guys want to do right now? So you have a basically useless, very, very cold, big ginger naked guy. You have the general wrapped up in your blanket and whatever remains of his kilt.
Okay.
And you are probably about 3 or 4 minutes from your home. From the property left you by your grandparents.
I try grabbing the blanket that has the general.
As you touch the blanket, as you touch the blanket, you feel the cold race up your arm faster than you've ever felt this thing move, almost as if like something has burrowed under your skin and is using your veins to race its way towards your heart. You're still holding on to it? Yep. All right, you feel it like launch itself into your heart, and then with a single beat, which you can hear within your ear, this cold feeling spreads, retracts. Another beat of your heart spreads and retracts, and it's slowly making its way to the rest of your body. What are you doing at this moment?
Are you grimacing at all?
Yeah.
She's definitely grimacing.
If I can, well, I don't see her.
You can't see
grimacing, but
anything.
I can sense the situation. I can feel somebody near me is in pain.
You can sense like cold spreading.
Yeah.
You can feel it in the air, and you can tell it's coming from her.
Can I go up and just put my hand on her arm? Somehow, I think it's there.
Yeah, you'd be able to, yeah, because of your mystic
So-
sense bullshit.
Let go.
I do let go, but
Mhm.
as I let go, I chuck him a little bit towards the door.
Alright. It moves a little bit. You definitely get this like bundled up corpse wrapped in way too much cloth now, slightly further along. Yeah.
Mhm.
And as soon as you let him go, every time your heart beats now, you feel warmth spreading where the cold was. It's feeling where the cold had previously emanated, but it was every beat of the heart. Boom, slightly warmer. Boom, slightly warmer. And then it reaches your fingertips, and you feel better. You still feel as if there is undead in the area, but it's better than it was from when you were touching him.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do,
Can you try and move him with his staff?
so with my quarterstaff, I'm going to try and find an area where I can like push it through the cloth. And basically just like hoist him up onto my shoulder on the end of my stick.
Okay,
Bit like,
I'm gonna say your stick is like it's something really sturdy, alright? It's
pretty
something
bloody
ridiculously sturdy.
I've had
Alright,
this
you
most
managed-
of my life.
Yeah, I mean you've seen the tartan wrapped around your companion here, and you basically managed to wrap it around the end of your stick. You then hoik it back under that knot you just made and managed to put him on the end of it. So you can actually hold on to him, but it's definitely ungainly, and you really don't feel good. This definitely makes you feel sick to your core, but it's not like
Incapacitating.
yes, not incapacitated.
Alright.
Cool.
You're right.
Where to?
Into the house. Put him anywhere.
I take him into the house, knowing exactly which house
As
this is.
you step forward, Caesar explained that the house is probably not more than a couple of minutes ahead. She gives you proper directions to get to her house, which is completely, pointless giving you messy direction at this point. It's like she says forward and turn left. You do go forward and turn left. And as you tap forward, you can hear where there is like a pause in in the small fence work, and you realise this must be clearly a way in. You walk forward, clank, clank, clank. You hear it come up against a solid surface. You reach out with your hands to where you think the handle has been a little bit investigating around. You eventually find it and push your way in. It's not locked. Push your way in. So what are you two doing? You're currently incapacitated, so I don't know. What do you do?
I try and help the now naked Gronn.
Wow. What are you going to do?
No, that's probably not going to work. I'm assuming I'm wearing like a jacket or something. Or
Yeah, we say you're wearing some sort of like, let's say duster jacket, because I always think they're fucking cool.
Yeah.
You're wearing a duster coat.
I take my duster coat, put it on the ground, sort of like move him slightly onto the duster jacket and kind of try and
Use that
slide him along.
Alright, I'm guessing he's quite a big burly chap.
Yeah.
You do roll him on it, and you know, as you touch him, you can feel his body is almost as if it's composed of ice. This is definitely not right. You would say this dude's dead, except you can definitely see him breathe. You can almost see the beating of his heart. You can almost see the outline beating against his chest. And you roll him on, and as you feel, as she touches you, she touches your shoulders, your arms to get you to roll on. That human contact seems to slowly be spreading across your arm. That kind of very cold, very chill, not moving feeling begins to dissipate, and your vision clears, but only very slightly. You are coming to, and then as you feel yourself being dragged along the ground, you're kind of beginning to become aware of what's going on. Because he's a big burly chap, it's probably going to take you like a good 10 minutes to do that 3-minute trek.
Yeah.
But you do eventually drag him in, and you drag him like round the little fence into your home, your grandparents' home, and then you drag him like to the front step and realise there's a step here. But by that point, you're probably a bit more compass mentis. You're actually able to function again as a decent human being.
I'll crawl through the doorway.
Okay.
Do you let me know that you're a bit more
It's
compass
probably
mentis?
it's fairly. It's
Yeah,
fairly.
I'll kind of like be like, yeah, thanks, and kind of crawl through the doorway and
Covering yourself.
No, I don't care about that too.
Alright.
I'm just going to try and find some place to like lay in a corner somewhere which is not too uncomfortable.
Okay, so you're now in this place. You probably haven't been here since your grandparents departed this world. When you planted the tree, you probably went straight into the army straight after that. Probably a really brave young girl. May have grown up here. It's entirely up to you.
Okay.
But as you guys are in here, and obviously you being the first person through the door would have heard. Let's say you saw, using your innate ability to do sounds and things. You sense things. All right. So you go into this first room, and you would assume it's kind of like the kind of residential room where you would have hung out and spoken and stuff. And you know that through the back of this room there is the kitchen type area, and from there would be like a passageway up to the top floor. Also, you have to go outside to go into the cellar underneath. In this room, you've got like in this particular room there are a couple of kind of like chairs and maybe a sofa on one side. There's a fireplace as well, but that seems to definitely not been used in X number of years. You can tell by all the dust on the floor as you trek, it's not quite the same. So you would figure that it's not been abandoned for a long time. There are a couple of things that have been boxed up and put into storage along like one wall. And this is the wall that is closest to the front of the house. And that's what you guys find in this particular room. Have you explored further? What have you done with the undead, maybe corpse, maybe not corpse of the general?
Probably would have been propped up in the corner.
Prop him up in the corner.
Propped him up in the corner and probably just taking a few steps back to keep my distance.
As you fling him down onto the ground, you feel almost as if you're being pulled forward, but you regain control of your senses and pull yourself back. That's fucking weird. That's not fucking right. Yeah, like, I know my core stuff. Yeah, you left it there in a panic. Whoa! Hang on a minute. I'll have that back. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's fine.
I basically just take a few steps back and sit cross-legged on the floor with the cool stuff up in front of me.
Okay.
I come in and I'm like, why the fuck are you on the floor? There's a
So
sofa right there.
the first thing you're aware is that there is a big man crawling on the floor. A really big man crawling on the floor. And you hear the footfalls of like the petite leader, your sergeant, a few steps behind him.
What the fuck are you doing on the floor? There's a sofa right there.
I'm listening. Basically what he's trying to do is he sat down, so tapped it down, put his head down, and he's basically trying to listen to the area.
Can you not do that from the
Trying to go
sofa?
into like a heightened state sort of thing.
Can you not do
Trying
that
to,
from the
these
sofa?
guys kind of interrupting a little bit.
I'm going to go and like kind of crawl into one of the corners away from that bundle. And
Yeah, almost.
lay down and go to sleep.
Instinctively, like you go to literally the other corner, which actually incidentally is the doorway into the kitchen.
Yeah,
So you curl up in that little place just in front of that door. Okay, there is a big naked man falling asleep in front of the kitchen door. There is a blind monk sitting on the floor doing his yen pose, just so that he can, hear and sense what's going around. You've got the undead corpse, maybe not corpse, into the corner. And what are you doing?
I'm just standing looking at this and going, what the fuck?
Why am I in charge?
What does my life come to?
Pretty much.
My glorious squad.
My
Blind man and the dying man in the corner.
No, it's more my glorious grandparents' house being disrupted by these
it's
people.
not quite the way that you remember it. There are a lot more boxes stacked up, as in the people that would have helped to pack down your grandparents' health after you went into the thing. They've stored a lot more things in boxes than you remember that. You've only done like a couple of things, but couldn't bring yourself to do the rest of it. And the rest of it was stacked up by who knows what. Maybe their friends, maybe your other family, who knows. But yeah, in this particular room, these are all things stacked up. This is all you can see in this room, and it's pretty dark now. It's pretty late.
Just to help me, human,
Yes.
understand what everyone looks like. So we've got a big burly naked man.
Big burly naked ginger guy.
Kill. What is your
Small
character
and
wearing?
petite.
Small and petite.
Yeah, what's she wearing?
What's she wearing? Well, she's just
Yeah,
taken
what-
off her duster jacket. So underneath
Underneath that, what would she be wearing?
generic army stuff. Really.
Yeah, so
Right,
it'd be like a
breastplate.
particularly like
Sort of a
if
loose
you're more
leather.
like buckler, if you're more buckler and shield, then it probably would be something more like plate mail. Because it would be small and petite and stuff, but your general attitude is go in there and beat the crap out of stuff.
Yeah.
So for you would need to be pretty well protected. So dog, chapping on your chest, be the same as your shield. Except all over.
Yeah. By the way, when I say small and petite, I mean like really tiny. Like ridiculously tiny.
That
Tiny
makes you
bruiser.
trying to drag this huge this suit even more funny.
Yeah, that's even funnier to me.
You're basically a skinny dwarf.
Oh no, she's a skinny tall dwarf. Let's make things right. It's a skinny small halfling.
Basically, if you didn't realise that I was like 24, you'd think I was about 9.
Yeah, she's pretty small. So that's
Okay.
fine. Yeah, she's small. Alright, okay, so what do you guys wish to do now? You're passing out in the corner
Yep.
and sleeping. Alright, I'll get back to you in your sleeping phase in a minute. You are yelling.
I'm exploring.
You're exploring with your senses. What are you doing?
I'm going to go over to Gronn and say, you do know there are bedrooms upstairs.
I'm going,
Beds, soft.
This is
Much
probably the most
softer.
comfortable thing you've ever felt in your life.
yeah.
You've
I'm-
had beds. You've had beds that made you feel like you were sleeping on clouds. This right now is the best feeling you've ever had.
Yeah. I would point out that most of the time, my guy would just normally just curl up in the corner
Yeah.
somewhere and go to sleep. He's not had a lot of experience with beds,
Right.
apart from occasionally with, like, once he joined the army, that was, like, probably, like, yeah, he had a bed then. Previously, like, his family probably had a bed, like, a family bed.
Yeah.
And the ones who weren't so blessed slept on rugs.
Yeah.
Pete, I yell at Pete and say, Pete, you're in charge, I'm going to bed.
Ah. You yell.
Yell!
In a silent
yell.
Gronn, there was someone upstairs. Oi!
He's sitting there in like a heightened state of listening. It's like you scream at him like, ah, Jesus.
Okay, so you're going up to bed?
Yeah.
I guess Pete's keeping
You
watch.
are staying watch all night
Apparently.
on your own, and you're going to sleep in the doorway.
Yeah, I'm
I just want to make sure that this is exactly your plan.
You can
I
keep
don't
me
think
awake
there was a
later on.
plan.
It wasn't a
This,
plan.
this is what you guys are currently planning.
No.
That Lilith goes to have a comfortable night's sleep in her old family
Yes.
home.
Let's hope she comes down at some point tonight to go
That Pete goes up.
I will come down after about 3 hours.
There you go. That's much better. You are now setting up some sort of watch.
Okay.
One
She's
day
gonna
I'll-
leave me awake. It's like, am I on my own?
Pete, I'll be down in 3 hours.
At some point, someone can kick me and I'll take Overwatch as well. But,
You hear that mumble, no, watch, no.
yeah, but I wouldn't actually organise anything with you.
No,
but
yeah,
From
you hear-
my history,
Yeah.
people just eventually kick me and I take Overwatch. Like,
Yeah.
it's-
Okay, so you go up to bed.
Yep.
And I will get there in a moment. You have already passed out as Lola steps over you, aware of the presence of humanity stepping over you. You feel like kind of like warmth brushing on like cloth over the top of you. You're sitting there completely naked, but you don't give a fuck. You're curled up in the doorway of the kitchen, and as your mind drifts to sleep, you're aware of almost instantly as Lola steps over you. You're not sure if it's a dream or if it's another one of those crazy ass visions or whether you're just hallucinating this shit. You're not entirely sure. But as soon as she steps over you, your vision changes again. And in front of you, you are stuck where you are. So you're standing in the void. There's nothing here. There is solid beneath you. And you know that if you wanted to go down, you could, but you were just on this solid area. And in the void, you're aware of things moving around you. You can't see them, but it's almost like being in the middle of a hurricane. There's so many things around you. And you get that familiar cold thing as if you're fighting the undead. Not the cold extreme that you felt whilst holding the corpse of the not dead, maybe dead general, but it's pretty close. And out of this darkness, very slowly, you see they're stepping the general. And you see him as probably as he was human. So he's very tall. He's got like short hair. He's got a fine beard on the go, but his features are fairly familiar to you. And he looks at you and tilts his head, and he smiles. And the smile gets slowly bigger and bigger and bigger up to his eyes. And then you see that the flesh on his face, almost within a split second, like someone has grabbed the back of his flesh and his head and yanks it backwards, and his face becomes really gaunt and then pale, and then it cracks, and you see like the various blood forming, that kind of like black wispy kind of electric blue colour that wisps out of these various things. And as he moves and twitches, it's very unhuman, and he sort of like leans forward and twitches a bit more and moves around, and he slowly comes at you.
I'm going to attack him, leap at him as soon as I see he starts to transform.
As you jump at him, as he does that kind of twitch and you think, fuck this, and dive forward, you feel like your axe appear in your hand. You definitely didn't have it before, you were definitely naked, but now you are holding your axe, you suddenly feel like you're in power.
I swing to take the head off.
You swing to take the head off, and as you jump forward and swing, he lifts his head into the axe, and his head flies off into the void. And then his arms reach around you, and you feel the talons grow out of his fingers into your back, and it clutches around your heart, and he pulls a heart through your back and pulls it in front of you. And he replaces it onto the stump of where his head was, and you just hear beat, beat. You feel it in your ears. You know that that's your heartbeat. Beat, beat. And then it freezes and goes black. And that's where I'm going to leave you for a moment. That's where you are. Oh, fun time.
Sounds like he's dying.
You.
Yeah.
And you become aware of this. You are hearing this happening. You go through into the kitchen. Again, the kitchen has been all boxed up. There is like the back door out of this place, which you take you round down to the cellar. You ignore that and decide that you're going to go to bed. Is that the case?
Yeah.
Right. You go up to bed, you stump up there, you can feel that everything is covered in dust. Wait a minute, is it? And you suddenly become aware that it's not. And you take your foot off the bottom step, and you see that from the doorway up the steps, there is a cleared path of dust. Footfalls, maybe something being dragged by the side of it. There's definitely not one set of footprints here. There are many. What do you want to do?
I call to Pete and basically say, Pete, if I say, if you hear me shout out blue, come upstairs.
Safe word is blue.
Okay.
Dole. Dole. Alright. Are you going to cautiously go up these stairs? What are you doing?
I'll cautiously go up these stairs. Both my shield.
Both your shield weapons.
The shield and my knife.
Shield-like weapons.
My knife out.
Your shield like a knife weapon. You crawl your way up there. The first room that you come to, you are very aware will be normally considered like the not your grandparents' room. Your grandparents have had a room of their own, but everyone else would share this one big room, either sleep on the rugs or on the various things. This is basically the communal family room.
Mm-hmm.
And you come in here, and everything has been boxed up. There is not a stick of furniture here. There's not even a rug on the floor. Everything's been rolled up and stacked against the walls.
Not even a bed?
Not even a bed. That too has been boxed up, shipped up, but it's definitely not accessible. And then you become aware that you're pretty sure they remember there being a window on the right-hand side, but all of these boxes have been stacked up haphazardly, like in like a row, except that occasionally there's kind of like a little way that you could wiggle yourself through to get to where that side is, and you're pretty sure that the room was a bit bigger than what all these different boxes would account for, being in the way.
Okay.
And also then there's a door straight through from this bedroom into the next.
Can I take down a couple of boxes to try and see if there's anything behind it?
Yep, so you put your knife back in your hand, in your belt. You grab some of the smaller boxes, and as you pull them away, you get that ominous feeling, like something is watching you. The hairs in the back of your neck go up. Your fighting instincts for however many years you've honed them tells you shit is not right and is about to go down. And as you grab the third box, you put it away, and in front of you, you see on the other side, there is a collection of small figures. They are small, green, scaly figures. And as you take this last box up and you look forward, they all effectively snap their heads up and open their eyes. And their eyes are deep red. Their tongues flick out towards you. And you hear, Gah! And they dive at you. And this is when goes to break. Because I really need to drink. Well, okay, right, yeah. So we're going to take a quick 10-minute break. And we will see you then.
Hopefully I'm still alive.
Nah, screw that.
This is Izzy. 12th June. Almost night. Well, here we are. Still in hell. I told him I didn't want this, but he doesn't listen. If he can't fix it soon, I'm gonna head off on my own. Nothing but a fucking prisoner. I feel used. There was a time when I thought it seemed cool. Not anymore. I think he's lost the plot. I don't know if I can trust him now. I'll give him 2 more days. And then I'm gone. That's it. Finish.
We didn't screw up for the redoing of that. I completely almost forgot that we were out of time. We're so involved in what we're
I love the way you were sitting there watching the timer tick down, just hit the 3 seconds, like, oh crap!
Oops, I forgot to do anything. Wow, okay, cool. Right, welcome back everyone. We've had, well normally we go and have a short break and take a wander and take a whiz, but we just didn't do that this time around because we're so pro.
We're too intense into this game, there's no
There's no coming out of this
outside
one.
the door into the dark garden outside.
Yeah, we are balls deep in this game. Alright, so when we last left it, Lilian had moved a box. She's holding this box roughly above Whitehead, as you can see on the other side. And there are 3 creatures, green, small creatures, and they've opened up at you with bright red eyes. As they've gone, and they're jumping towards you. What do you want to do?
Put the box down on top.
I was going to say, not the box on.
That's actually just a little bit too funny. So you lift the box above, and you think, fuck, and these things make noise, and they jump at you, and just as you slam the box down perfectly to crush their heads in the box, and you hear this kind of awful then deadly silence. You've heard this too. And you've been woken up by this. But you two also sense the thing in the corner twitch and move. And you hear an intake of which coincides with this blue essence, this blue wispy, dark wispy blue coming out from the creatures under the box, seeping its way past you. It almost goes around you like an island in the middle of a river. It goes around you and it creeps its way down, past you, down the stairs, out through the kitchen, over you again like you were a
Can I
part of the
see
rock.
this as it goes past?
You guys are all very well aware of this.
I'm going to try and grab one of them as it goes past.
As you see this blue like
Mist.
essence pass around you, you put your hand up into it and your hand immediately freezes. As in literally it is turned into ice. As you clamp through it, your hand is turned into ice and this ice is slowly seeping up your arm. And they all coalesce around it for a moment, making the feeling intently worse. And then it shoots off and goes past and heads towards...
I'm going to try and keep hold of it and just this anger at this thing. It's like,
You
I'm not going to let you have it.
You cannot let go. Your hand cannot move. It has turned into literal ice. Yeah. So you cannot do that even if you wanted to.
I'm just very angry right now. It's like I'm refusing to let this thing have its...
Alright, so still, yeah, it coalesces around your hand, your ice, and it just basically floats off back towards the monk, and it goes around you. You can feel this more than you can hear it. But you can hear this intense intake of breath from this general thing in the corner. And it goes into him roughly at the very rough mouth level.
While I've gripped this thing in there, can I just say over just kick it in the teeth?
Okay,
Just
I'll
like
rephrase
gripping around
that.
this
It's
thing.
mist. You can't hold on to mist like you can't hold on to a cloud.
But my
Your
hand's
hand
frozen
went
shut around
through
something.
it.
Your hand went through it.
So didn't it form twice?
Your hand has turned into ice.
Yeah, my
And
hand
the
is
mist has still gone around and through it. Like,
Okay.
you're literally, you put your hand into a stream.
Yeah.
You aren't going to stop the stream.
frozen. Okay, fair enough.
It's water. It's mist.
In that case, my hand's frozen. So
That's
I'm
kind of
just
essentially how it looks.
I'm going to shout to him then, just kick it in the teeth.
Right, yeah. So as you're aware, as he yells this, kick it in the teeth, you're aware that this kind of like cold energy, this kind of like mist swirling form, has gone straight into the rough mouth level of this creature, of the thing in the corner, and with a huge like, as the last essence of this kind of bluish, misty kind of like ethereal light kind of mist has gone into it, and you hear it straighten up, and you also hear something crack and twitch and groan, almost as if you could hear something growing, and you're aware that you look over there, your hand is turned to ice. This mother is ice, man. But you can look over and you can see that this sack of like cloth, a blanket, and your tartan, your precious tartan, is beginning to twitch and move as if something on the inside is trying to break its way out. You have seen all of this mist go down. Are you following it down?
I lift the box up just to check that the creatures underneath are
The
dead.
creatures are very dead.
Okay.
Their heads are flattened and squished. They are so like flat, and you've got it perfectly. Like there was a sharp edge on the back of the box, and the bodies have just fallen down, but the head squishing is still there.
Guillotine.
You guillotined the motherfucker.
Okay, I follow the mist downstairs.
Okay, as you follow the mist downstairs, you see him put his hand up into it, and you see the ice crystals form, and you realise the entire hand has turned into like basically a bloody ice stump, bloody ice arm with the fist cracks, and you hear him shout out, and you see this mist making its way around the kind of the Pete who's sitting there in the middle, and you see it go into the face. You hear the thing, and again you see it the same as these guys do, or hear it. You hear something squidging and moving around on the inside.
Okay, grab my staff and just basically
Yep. You hit it in the teeth. You just like baff, and you feel it connect and crunch, and you hit it, and it slides down off his head. You hear the thunk, and you hear ooh, and it hits the shoulder, and it moves down on one side, and you can feel that there is an arm beginning to regrow there.
Shit.
Have you come down the stairs, haven't you?
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
downstairs.
I'm going to stagger to my feet, start moving forward, and go, bring me my axe.
As I come down the stairs, I pick up his axe on the way back and hand it to him.
I'm basically, now that I've got my axe, I'm going to go over there, kick this thing out to the floor, so it's basically, it's just sitting in the corner.
Yeah, it was propped up in the corner.
Yeah, I'm going to try and kick it out, so basically just try and like kick it out of its bounding, so it's
Yeah.
basically loose. And then as soon as enough of it's out that I can see limbs, I'm going to start chopping.
Okay, so you are using your non-dominant arm.
I'm going to use my foot. I'm kicking this
No,
thing
you're
out.
cutting it down.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know
yeah.
Okay, you do have a dominant foot, but that wouldn't
Yeah.
mean you not mean that.
I thought
So
you meant
you are going with your non-dominant arm to try and hack what?
So basically, I'm going to kick this thing out
Yep.
and then stamp on it to like, pin it down,
Yep.
and then just.
Okay,
just cut
so
off the-
as you basically kick it free to one side, you help doing that very last like, and you see it's fallen out of its wrappings. You can now see its head, and you can see its general shoulder area, and you can indeed like the slow motion, like the stop motion clay things of things growing.
Yeah.
You're seeing this arm slowly forming, and it's now gotten down to like the elbow joint, and you are well aware that's happening on the other arm too. You can see like the bluish eminence glowing from underneath those.
I'm
So
not
you
going to
managed to
take the
put your
time
foot-
to admire this effect. I'm literally as
No,
soon
no,
as
yeah,
I see
yeah,
it, I'm
that's
just
fine.
like.
Alright, so you kick it down, you put your foot on top, your bare naked foot. Now
Yep.
I'm going to say you've got your boots on because you would have your
No,
boots
no.
on.
Naked.
You took time to kick your boots off to ride. You're fighting without
How
shoes.
about-
Actually, no, yeah. I will.
Yeah.
yeah.
You're a naked
I'm
man with
also
boots on.
going to, if he's holding down, I'm also going to place my staff on his back.
Okay, so you
Not
place
this way,
yeah. That's not going to help him. So you put
You start smacking me or something.
yeah, so you put the staff into his back. You put your foot on his back.
Yeah.
In your boots, you can still feel the cold emanating, but it's not as bad as if you touch him with your bare feet.
It's okay.
It's what I was going with.
I know this is going to hurt him a lot more than it's going to hurt me, and just hack his arms off.
You're going to hack his arms off again.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to let these things
Alright,
regrow.
So as you swing with your non-dominant arm, you don't quite get it perfectly to cut his arm off, but you do bury it into his shoulder. You swing back again and take another whack down. You manage to cleave that kind of general shoulder area off, and there's kind of like that bluish, blackish wisp of not blood begins to spurt out and go across and disapparate into the air, disperse into the air.
I'm quite happy
And
to
then
just keep taking crude chunks.
as you keep swinging it down, almost literally between swings when you lift your axe up again, you begin to see it like spurt and create a new kind of like freakish arm again, and you basically just keep hacking away. Are you continue to hack at the same arm? Are you going to try and hack different parts of it?
Do I actually remove the entire arm? Or?
At one point you do, but again it begins to spurt and begin to grow.
As
again.
soon as I remove that arm, I'll switch to the other one. And
Okay.
I'll basically just keep alternating
What are
between
you
the two.
guys doing? If you're going to alternate between the two, that's fine. Again, the same thing keeps happening.
Yeah,
Is it
cool.
just
For
the
moment.
arms that are regrowing?
Yes, just the arms are the only things that are missing. Oh, apart from the legs. So
Yeah,
the legs
legs
are beginning to grow back. I forgot you taking the bottom
Yeah.
legs off. Yes, the bottom of the legs are beginning to grow back. I completely forgot you cut his legs off.
How are they growing? Are they like growing out as in like the bottom of the leg is solid, or is it growing out as in like, coming out so there's a stump at the bottom? I'm thinking of maybe taking my stuff and jamming it into the stump and seeing what happens.
Do it. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. You
Seeing
take
if I
it.
can stop it growing.
Are you going to shove it into one of the leg stumps?
Yeah.
Okay. You shove it into one of the leg stumps, and within moments you can see the flesh like moulding itself around it, and you're aware that you can feel a resistance on the other side, but it's not pushing your staff away. It's just almost as if the flesh is now moulding itself around your staff.
If I feel that, I'm going to wrench around and try and get my stuff out. I don't want to lose it.
Yeah, fairly easily. You're like, oh crap, fuck this. You sort of like twist it around and you break some of the flesh out, and that begins to like form a mould and go back into the leg shape. What are you doing?
I'm looking at this scene and just going, "Oh my god, what are this is ridiculous. This isn't getting anywhere."
As you're not currently doing anything, I'm going to point you to the corner where my sword is like, get the sword!
As he's haphazardly trying to break through this thing. I would also note that your hand, although you can't feel anything, the bit of your hand that's frozen, the bits attaching it to your flesh, hurts like a bitch. It really hurts because you are basically holding an ice cube on the end of your stump.
Yeah.
This is where you're currently feeling. So
Yeah.
are you going for
I'm
the sword?
redirecting
No.
his rage.
You're
against
not.
it,
You're
so-
just going to stand there freaked out.
No, I'm not freaked
What
out.
are you doing?
I actually go and grab the rope.
It's probably a good idea.
There's plenty of rope here. You find lots of rope.
Yeah.
Maybe your grandparents have a fetish for ropes. I don't know. There's a lot of fucking rope here. So
They're all into a lot of S&M shit.
yeah, that's why you moved out, right? That's why
Exactly.
they're doing. Right. So yeah, you grab out this rope. So what are you doing with it?
So basically, I go for the feet and tie up the feet first because
Yeah.
obviously they're not being chopped off by Mr. Happy.
Yeah,
Happy
so
rope.
yeah, as they've grown out again, as you finally see like the last part of the foot grow, it's kind of like a blackish, dark bluish colour. It's no longer that kind of human like decayed colour. It begins to grow out, and it seems to more like it's a little bit more clawed than you would expect a human foot to be. And there are kind of talons growing at each of the feet where the toenails would be, and they're pretty fucking sharp. But you're like, fuck this shit, and tie that crap up.
Yeah.
So his feet are very well secured. You are still hacking away at both the arms.
Yep.
After the feet have been tied up and the legs are completely grown back, you're aware that it's no longer recharged, you're no longer regenerating. So the arms aren't actually coming out anymore, but you're haphazardly going with your left, your non-dominant arm. You're like smack, smack. You're getting a bit tired, to be honest. It's just way too early for you. You've had like maybe 3 seconds with your eyes shut, and it wasn't pleasant. And you're hacking away, and eventually realize that it's actually not growing back anymore. So you've managed to like cleave even like the shoulder sockets themselves away. And that's basically the state of this creature.
Okay, go back to sleep.
Alright. Can we see this thing's face?
You can roll it over and see its face. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm just going to kick it over so I can see its face. I'll be like, do that again, they're coming off. And then go into the corner and sleep.
It doesn't respond to you, apart from the fact it's gagged. It doesn't really seem to be doing anything. It just glares at you with those kind of like dark blue as your eyes.
I'll just give a big smile.
Is there anything that we can tie it to?
Yeah, there's boxes, there's parts of the wall.
Okay,
You could
yeah,
tie it to
okay,
some of the
something that's
furniture. Something that's attached.
Ideally.
Probably hooks in the wall and ceilings.
Yeah, that's probably you could just say there's a couple of hooks in the wall. Yeah.
Alright,
Yeah.
let's tie him
Attach it
feet
to something.
first. Feet up to the hooks.
You could take his legs off. I mean, unless he... What was that thing from upstairs anyway? You kind of pulled some gas down the stairs or something.
Yeah.
Accent, character voice. You're gonna do it. Do it.
What was the gas? There was some kind of mist. I mean, it froze my fucking hand shut when I touched it.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
hand
that-
is still frozen, by the way, dude. It is a literal chunk of ice.
I'd get that looked at.
I'm going to try and
Basically,
warm it up in the
there
outfit.
Okay, I'll get back to the moment.
there were these creatures up there,
Rip your armpit
and
hair out.
I decapitated them, and that's when this came from.
Okay. So spirits or something. Weird.
Spirits, evil, something.
And then you eat them, and we let them regrow. Okay.
Apparently.
The undead absorbing the dead.
Mm. So we tie them to the hooks, feet first.
Fucking excellent. I love that.
I,
You're hanging upside down. This
Yeah.
is beautiful.
I'd
His
say,
head is like, you're aware that he's slightly longer than the hook is, so his head is sort of like literally, you put his face first on the ground, but the rest of his body is up in the air.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I'd say we probably don't want to go poking around more then. If we find more of those things and kill him, he's just going to start doing it, regrow again.
Yes.
Let's seal the doors and stay here for a bit, and then we can move off.
Stay in this room. Yeah.
Also, how wide are the doors? Can we get the horses in here?
No.
No.
This is a home, not like a stable.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, our horses aren't, I assume, not massive. I mean, if the doors are wide
It's a
enough.
war horse.
Yeah, they're pretty
Yeah.
big.
Alright, fair
They're
enough.
pretty big. You wouldn't be able to get them in the
Flowers.
house. Use a power horse. They're
Well,
pretty
Let's
big.
just leave them outside.
Yeah.
You go sleep. I'll sleep on the sofa for 3 hours. You watch for 3 hours. I'll watch for 3 hours, and then I'll wake you up and get you to watch for 3 hours.
Alright, keep an eye on the horses though, because without them, we're boggers.
So your hand, which you've been warming up under your armpit,
Yeah.
one, it's fucking cold, and two, as you like think, I'm gonna have a look, see what's happened. You pull it out, you realise your hand is melted. There's no flesh there. It's just melting away.
This is a bone.
The bone isn't even there. Everything is melting.
Okay, so it's just like a stump now, is it?
Yes. Except that you still have like an attachment of the ice because you're like completely melted. An entire fist under your arm, you would notice that. But
Yeah.
you are definitely aware like the edges of it and everything is just melting away.
I wouldn't touch those mist things, by the way. They kind of.
Why did you touch it anyway?
Well, I was trying to stop it. It was like,
It's
I'll just
mist.
grab it.
It's mist! A, you don't know what it is, and B, it's in a mist formation.
Well, I knew it wasn't good, and it worked. But I thought I could stop it, and no, apparently not.
Of course. Okay.
Wow. Alright. You passed. Are you going to find any clothing? Like at all?
No.
Alright, big naked guy. No way of holding his two weapons. You're holding your axe. Alright. Okay, so yeah, the rest of the night kind of passes in relative niceness, I guess, for this place. You all have that feeling of dread being around this undead creature in the corner that seems to possibly regrowing itself. You all have flashes of nightmares when you actually do manage to sleep, and it's often on a you don't get a peaceful 3 hour or 6 hours broken up into 2 sets of 3 or whatever. You don't get that peace at all. But you do wake up in the morning feeling like you've had a small amount of rest, and the sun coming in through sort of the windows at the front, the cracks through that you can get, it begins to make you feel warmer, and you definitely get that warm feeling from your deity, which you prayed for the day before. Yeah. You begin to feel that kind of much more present with the sun coming in. Nothing seems quite so bad now the sun is up. It's still pretty shitty. The dude is missing his hand and completely naked. Also, you have the undead general still in the corner with regrown legs. So what do you guys want to do?
I want to, while I'm on watch looking out for the horses, once the sun's come up and it's morning again, I'm going to have a look around the nearby area and see if I can find a cart or anything.
Okay. Yeah, you could easily find, like outside one of the inns, you sort of like stalk your way down there, and yeah, you're aware that outside the inn there's in the stable block around the back you can see a couple of carts. So some of them have things on, most of them have things on. One of them is fully loaded, the other is quite lightly loaded with a couple of linens.
Okay. Right.
Please put the linen on.
Well, I was more thinking of something to move the general with.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to come once I've found that. I'm going to come back to the house again and wait till everyone else has woken up. Once I reckon it's time that everyone should be up, I'll go and wake them up.
If you've gone out, you'll probably, if it's early, very early morning, you'll probably come back and see me outside doing my sort of Tai Chi type thing with my staff. Effectively, this is my way of praying.
Yeah, I was going to go with that.
Yeah.
So yeah, as soon as you start doing the familiar routines of doing this, you get yourself back to that kind of like comfortable place where you find you're in a wall. You kind of like you find that as you're going through these motions, and that flame which had begun to flicker around, again being relit by the sun coming through. As you're doing this, you're feeling that grow stronger, and it's almost like emanating across your chest. You're only feeling that cold feeling, even if you're in the same room as it. It only kind of like vaguely affects your periphery, only vaguely. You two are feeling it pretty fucking intensely, especially you, because you're missing a hand and you're frozen. You're bloody cold. You have not gotten any warmer and you're naked. So yeah, what do you guys wish to do now? We've acquired ourselves a cart. We have dude being filled with an inner light, and
Have you got clothing yet?
No.
I go and find an old robe of my grandfather's.
All
It was
right,
about the
so,
same size.
So So Grandpa Steve. Grandpa Steve, he was a big burly chap who was into his ropes and let's say he's a blacksmith. Fuck it. He's a blacksmith, and you find clothing that would be appropriate. You find some pretty big loose pants, and you find like and some trousers and a belt. You find a shirt which you think might be big enough for him.
I'm going to shout up as well while you're upstairs. Can you find a sewing kit while you're up there?
What
Uh-oh.
for?
My kilt you hacked apart last night.
I'm currently finding you clothes.
Yeah.
Digging through, you do find an old sewing kit of your grandma's.
Okay.
You return back downstairs, and Dee has clothing and all the other such accoutrements.
I was going to say before I head back downstairs.
Yep.
Can I inspect the grandparents' room?
Yeah. Again, this place has been mostly boxed up. There's not a stick of furniture. There's not any rugs down, and most of this stuff has been stacked up into a corner. You don't get that dread feeling you got the night before, like at all. It's now the sun's up. Things feel definitely better. They don't feel as bad as they did.
Okay. I don't feel the need to go and inspect round boxes, so...
The boxes are stacked up in the corner, so there's nothing behind them. The room you had before you're fairly familiar with, you were aware that it was smaller, then would have been a tin in there as a window. This place you know to be pretty much as is.
Cool. Just wanted to double check. And go back downstairs, give you the new clothes and the sewing kit, and have at it.
Cool.
But wear the clothes until you have it fixed.
Yeah, I'll put these clothes on for the time being. I'll gather up my kilt with all the cut bits and the sewing kit and put that on the seat so I can sit on it on the cart, and then I'll get you to give me a hand bundling the general into the back of the cart.
Again, I assume you're both picking him up.
With the stick.
You're going with the stick.
I ain't touching him.
You're going to pick him up with a stick. You feel like after probably about 30 seconds of trying to haul this thing around, you feel the cold emanating through the staff, and it begins to make its way up towards your hand, but it doesn't get much further than your forearm. You're very aware that this kind of inner fire that you've developed, that you found since your meditation this morning, it doesn't seem to be affecting anything further up your arms, holding onto the stick. You, however, have gone right, fuck this shit, grabbed him by the rope.
With your one good arm.
With your one good arm.
I'm really hoping that I get to be involved in the questioning when we get back, because I'm going to really enjoy hacking bits off this thing.
Okay, you grab this rope with one arm.
I'm just thinking about all the horrible things I want to do to this thing while I'm dragging it along, just filled with rage and how much I really want to hack
Okay,
this bit.
so as you grab this, your eyes don't flicker blue, but where are you in this situation?
I'm getting my horse ready.
You're getting your horse ready, you're outside of the horses?
Yeah.
Fucking excellent. Your vision clouds over, but not quite like it was before. Like before when you had your kind of weird dream thing, that was kind of weird but not kind of odd. And before that you had that kind of seeing through a dead person's eyes. You pick him up and you feel like you're seeing through definitely a dead person's eyes, but this dead person is moving. And you're aware as you put your arm out, it's the same kind of arm that you kind of had hacked off previously. You're where you're looking through this dead general's eyes, and you get vague flashes of blue and black essence pouring from his hands, and you feel that feeling, and you feel the rage build inside you. You are full of hatred and rage, and all these things you wish to do to these live scum wandering around everywhere. And as you do that, you see this essence flow from your fingers into the live people, and you see them drop like a stone, and you have this wicked smile on your face, and you lift your hands up, and almost like you were puppeting them, they begin to rise and stand as if you had them on the back of their heads, and then they kneel towards you, and they say something in a language you as Gronn don't recognise, and then the vision fizzles out, but that anger and that hatred still remain in your chest.
It's a fairly normal day.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty angry at nature before I did that. This
This is like an additional anger. So where your anger would be flaming and hot, this is a cold, calculating anger.
Okay,
and they are side by side. They are almost meshed perfectly. This is what you feel. Okay.
Normally, most of my hatred is very emotional. This feels more like an emotion, this cold hatred. Yeah.
This is hatred with a cause.
Okay.
All right. So this is what you go. You guys pick him up. You feel the thing. You can't see jack shit, but you're aware something weird's happening because people keep doing this all the time. And then you basically bundle him into the car.
Okay.
Is there like a looking quickly around? Is there like an old like a wood axe or anything like that? Or
Yes.
cool. I'm probably going to replace my great axe, which requires 2 hands to wield, with something that's a bit smaller because I now have one hand.
Yep. You find something that's it's not exactly sharp, but it would do the job of hacking apart the undead.
Okay.
It won't be great.
I'm not leaving even my weapons behind. I'll put them in the cart.
Okay, that's
But
perfect.
I'll have my wood axe on
Yeah.
my hand.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you get a little wood axe. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. All right, so you now have retooled, and all your things are in the cart.
And I'm sitting in the cart to drive it.
You can sit in the cart and drive it.
Well, I assume I've put my plough horse on
Yeah,
the
that's
cart.
fine. Yeah, you can put your plough horse on the cart. Yeah. That is. I was about to say you probably want to put the plough horse on that. Yeah. So yeah, your horse is now dragging the cart. You two are shoot up on your horses.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. So are you going to make your way straight to where the commander is, or?
Yeah. Let's go to the commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
Follow you.
All right. So you make your way towards the commander. You know the route fairly well. You've been there a few times. It's up to you guys whether you've been to this particular city or not. Up to you. I don't really care. So yeah, you make your way there. You've definitely been there before. This is nothing new to you. So you go along. Are you going along the selected paths, which are slightly longer, or are you going to try and take a more direct route through the forest areas? You know of 2 ways. One, fairly standard, follow the path. The other, off the beaten track, slightly shorter, a bit more dangerous. I will give you these options.
Let's stick to the path.
Oh, wonderful. All right, you make your way along the path, and you have like most of the day when you're sitting in the car, aren't you, with the dead dude?
Well, I assume like the standard cart is you've got like the wagon bit at the back, and then you've got the bench at the front. You
Yeah,
sit on the right.
you're
So
sitting
I'm
on the
sitting
bench.
on the bench, steering the
The
car,
dead dude is in the car.
and he's in the back.
I
of
assume
the
you
car.
guys have secured and latched this dead dude
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go on the assumption you've actually fucking tied this
Yeah,
guy
we're
down.
going to make sure he doesn't fall out the back, and I assume you've got.
And I'm assuming Pete is following.
Yes.
Okay, so the blind dude is going to be watching him again.
Why does this keep happening?
Well, you can't exactly find the route, can you? It's like we're
I'm
going to have following the
the
blind
one that
man,
knows the route,
Yeah.
so I need to be in the front.
and I don't really want you steering the cart because you're blind.
I can be directed from behind.
Oh,
Left a
that's
bit, right a bit.
unbelievably hilarious. All right, so you guys make your way along this on this well-made path, and you as you like crest around one of the bends, like a slow sweeping bend through like the forestry area. You left like civilization back 4 or 5 hours ago, and you've been going for most of the day. And it's probably about 2-3 hours afternoon, and you crest around this sweeping path that goes to the left. And as you go around, in the distance, you can see not exactly a castle, probably like a really big manor house, like a fucking huge manor house. It's not a castle by any stretch of the imagination, but this is definitely a fortified like manor in the middle of fucking nowhere. Around it, there are you can see like the low walls, the low wooden walls. And you can see that from your distance you'd reckon about an hour's out. You can sort of see some little dots on this wall moving around a little bit. You can't, you're blind. You can see for those of you can see like with on the other side of these walls a bit further in, you can see some houses and the such like. You can see another interior wall and there's some more houses within that. You can see like the big manor house which stands head and shoulders above them, probably about 3 stories tall. You can tell that from here, and you know that you've been here before. This isn't a particularly large city. You probably reckon there's probably about somewhere knocking on like between 800 people, 1,000 people, something like that. For this particular place to be quite big, a lot of people, overpopulated city. It clearly had 2 walls of defence, and they filled the wall between the exterior and the interior wall with people and things. Not great for a killing zone, but the population has spread. And this is what you're looking at.
I don't really know much about
From a
civilized
distance.
fences, so
Yeah, about an hour away.
yeah, I don't know anything about the fences. I know the cities are overcrowded and sprawling, so it looks completely normal to me.
Right, let's continue.
At that point, as Lilian says, let's continue. You are distinctly aware of movement from behind you. You are distinctly aware of 3 sets of shambling movement behind you. And no, shambling is probably not the right word. You hear... oh, this is hilarious. Okay, so you hear 3 sets of footfalls, but they aren't paired footfalls. They aren't like 6 feet on the ground. You're probably more talking about 24. Tap, tap, tapping as it goes on the ground. You can hear it moving through the underbrush. And you're aware that these creatures, whatever they are coming behind you, they're carrying weight because it's not quite like you would expect there to be a certain stride, a certain gait with having that many legs. But you're aware that they're clearly taking some sort of weight and they're coming up from behind you and they are approaching pretty fast.
3 sets, 24. Spiders!
Guys, we have incoming.
I'm going to glance around and see if I can see these things he's referring to.
As you glance behind you, you can see these kind of spider-like creatures. They have very dark, like, armor plating on them. Not like, hey, I'm going to stick some armor on this spider. These are spiders that are naturally armored and they're very, very dark. Not black, but they are fucked up. You can see that some of them have like legs that are twisted slightly the wrong way, as if they've been broken, but they're carrying to move on them anyway. You can see that the pincers at the front, some of them have been broken, and some of them completely missing their lower jaw. You can also see in some of them their eyes have basically just been gouged out. They're like, but they're still moving forward, and from those gouges you can see that kind of like familiar black, kind of wispy, not quite blood that kind of like floating around them. And as you're looking at these, you are aware that each of these things have creatures on them. Creatures, probably shouldn't rephrase that, they're undead upon them. Some of them are fairly short. One of them is particularly short. The one in the middle is clearly a female. She's quite rotund, quite well built. She has like a big nose and big ears. Well, one of her ears is completely missing. You can see a scar down the side of her face, and you can see that her nose is completely broken and shattered. She's missing an eye, and in that eye socket there is a bright red kind of again that kind of like that ethereal look to it, and she has long hair which has clearly gone to the dead really, and it's kind of lackluster, and she's holding a fucking huge hammer in her hands, and she's heading towards you, but you can see she's not seeing you, but she knows where she's going. And the other people beside her are two tall humanoids, two tall humans, and they're both male, and they're both carrying, like, one of them is carrying a shield, one of them is carrying a sword, and the other one is carrying like a really big axe. And these things are coming towards you. The other two humanoid male figures, they're fairly similar in appearance and they're both kind of rotted. What do you wish to do?
Are they matching our pace?
They are catching you. Your
Okay.
plough horse is only a plough horse
Yeah, I
and
know,
I'm
carrying.
not galloping.
No.
Mm.
These things are coming at you with a vengeance. And you are aware that you hear like the kind of the spiders as they kind of get a bit closer to you, like.
Oh, I'm going to urge my horse to go forward as fast as it can, trying to make towards these defences. So the route we're going, are we going directly towards these things?
As where you are now, you're probably as direct as you're going to get. This
Okay.
pathway is almost as direct as you're going to get.
Okay. Can we see anyone? Or like, can we see the people fairly like?
Not really. They're about an hour out, and the people that you do see are basically just specks moving around. Only by the fact that you guys have been trained by an army to look out for this kind of crap are you even aware that they're there.
Okay. I was sort of riding along and be like, do you have any signals?
No.
Wouldn't happen to have a war horn, would we?
Strangely going.
Strangely enough, she said no.
I said yes.
I'm sorry.
Nope. Nope. Playing true to character. I like it. No, she doesn't have a war horn. There'd be no need for her to.
No.
You are not an army.
We've just found a need.
Yeah, you guys are
I
not an army.
I swing my horse round and say, "Give me your axe."
I'll pass you my two-handed axe.
Are you going to continue urging your horse forward?
Mm.
So you're going to continue urging the general and your horse forward. I'm going to warn you, your horse is slow. Even running, your horse is slow compared to these things.
Yeah, I know.
You are going to be overtaken. I'm just throwing that out. It is just a flat horse.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. That's fine. As long as you're aware, that's what's happening. Okay. So
Right.
you've taken the axe.
Right.
And what are you doing?
I'm going to ready my stuff and
Yeah.
So you both
pull my
you
horse
both-
round towards where the sound's coming from.
Yeah. I yell at Gronn to basically say, "Keep going. We'll try and fend them off."
All right.
What?
Wow, this is amazing. Oh, this is incredible. It's more important that you get your creature there, surely.
Yeah.
So
That's what a general would do. Not general, a sergeant.
you're a
would do.
sarge. Well, a sarge would be like, fuck this shit, boss. I'm out of it. He tell it true.
As
Alright.
you do that, I'll be like salute you with like fist to the chest and then urge.
Hang
the
on, with
horse
your actual hand or with your stump?
My
I
actual
personally
hand.
want to know.
My
With your actual hand. Alright, excellent. So you
I'm
give them a
going to
salute.
say it's my right, because I'd say he's right-handed.
Yeah.
He would have reached for the thing with his right hand.
Yeah,
so it's
dominant
actually-
hand.
Yeah, his dominant hand is the one that's turned twice.
Yeah,
which is
so his left
hand.
hand You give him a salute with the wrong hand, but at least you guys understand what he's doing.
How you...
I don't know.
Still do
Honestly,
it.
don't know.
You'd have,
Honestly,
like,
don't know.
because normally
It doesn't matter either way. The gesture is your thing.
Well,
So you get the gesture regardless whether it's the right hand or the wrong hand.
Are you
basically,
ready?
what you see of the monk when he's readying for battle is he's basically, you know, when you're holding a staff, you've got it going up your arm, sort of thing. He's doing that, and with his heartbeat, he's tapping his shield on his back.
That is amazing. I say you probably do it between your heartbeats because then you hear the echo bit better. Okay, yeah. So between you're hearing that. So yes, I'm going to say you can almost perfectly figure out what these things height-wise are like, what weapons they're carrying, because you are focusing at that moment in the battle on the sound of your tapping. So you are well aware of these things are. In future, you may not necessarily need to know what they are when you're doing this fight, but at least you'll always have to know what they kind of each are carrying. You can separate in your mind which is the smaller thing, which is the two bigger ones.
Pete, are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
Alright.
Okay. These three spider things launch at you. You're aware that as they launch at you, the center one, which has the female on it, the spider jumps alone, and she seems to almost shimmer and flicker and to no longer be on the spider as they all jump towards you. So the kind of spider on its own and one of the human males, they jump for the monk, who seem at this moment to be like, well, he's skinny and unarmored, let's fucking have him. So the spiders jump at you. The spider goes up and it digs its fangs, its kind of little teethy things, into the side of the horse, and you hear as his horse just shrieks and bellows, and you feel it feeling beneath you. And the other creature with the human on it jumps at you, and you feel like a slice across your shoulder. What are you doing?
I was going to say, do I get a chance
Yes,
to
of
defend
course
myself there?
What are
I
you
knew they
doing?
were coming.
You're not dead, but you know this thing, regardless of whether you hit it, it's still going to slice at you.
Okay.
So what are you doing?
Well, as the horse goes down, I'm basically going to try and leap up and over the spider to try and get the thing on top of it.
Okay, excellent. So as you feel the horse going down, you take the momentum, you push your staff down, and you flip onto like the back of the thing. And yes, you can definitely give it a whack. It does cut you with the sword, but only glances off of one arm. So what are you trying to do with your staff? You're basically swinging yourself around behind it to a degree in the air. So what are you doing? You're basically behind it. You have like slow motion, like Matrix Neo type style. You're behind it now in the air as you're landing. What are you doing with your staff?
Basically just trying to swat it off the spider, trying to take it off.
Alright, yeah, so you do this massive whack, the slow motion fallback's like, yeah, I fucking got this shit. And you swing with all of your energy. And this creature goes flying across the air and you, dunk, and it slides down off of this tree. You can see its neck is broken at an awkward angle. And as you land on 2 feet, you can see the spider, almost as if it has no mind of its own, just continues scuttling forward and then turns around, sort of skids, and comes racing back towards you. And that's what I'm going to hold you for just a moment.
I want to see how I land, just because it's awesome.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Yeah.
Basically, how I land, put my hand to the floor, and basically trying to feel the movement through the floor as well.
That is amazing. Yes, that could totally do that. Yeah.
Basically,
you feel
ninja land.
Yeah, you feel the horse has now hit the deck, and you're aware that the spider that jumped the horse, the spider itself is more keen on taking apart this horse, like literally rake by rake. This is what it's currently involved in, and you hear the horse like screaming and yelling in pain. It's unbelievable. It's like a human scream, except a horse, and it's just not pleasant to hear. But you can feel all this going. You feel the spider at the other end scoop, turn back and fall back. You hear the guy's neck snap as it lands down and hits the bottom, and it's no longer moving. And you are aware that this cold feeling is emanating from it and heading towards the shorter human behind you, right with you. So the spider again has jumped and launched itself at you. The spider itself, has definitely overland, is definitely gone for a longer, further jump, and it lands on the creature, on the back of the horse behind you. You feel the back of the horse slink down, and the humanoid kind of was perhaps not quite as prepared as they may well have thought, and tries to turn around and swing at you, and it catches you across the back, but you're covered in this fucking armour. I mean, you don't give a fuck, you're covered in armour, and you hear tang as it spins around behind you. What do you want to do? The creature's behind you, you're on the horse facing forward, the back of the horse is going down. There is a spider and there is a humanoid with a sword.
I swing at the spider I swing at the creature on the back of the horse.
Okay, yep. So you awkwardly turn around, you realise you're not going to get the full swing on it because your arms are so you just smack it in the face with the butt of this fucking huge axe you've just got, and that momentum is enough to take it square in the face. And it basically flings off and just sort of like collapses to the ground. And as your horse is collapsing, it squashes itself down on the back of this creature. It's no longer moving. Its head's crushed underneath the horse as it's taken too much weight. And the spider is now skitting around and it goes to attack you. And you feel yourself covered in web as it just shoots forward at you. What do you do?
I swing the axe wildly at the spider towards the spider.
Okay, so as the horse is going down, you manage to like free one of your legs, and as you're spinning around, you actually properly manage to get it with the front of your axe, and just you take all of this webbing, just go straight on the front of your axe, and the creature is now on the ground. You're on the ground. Horse is now still on the ground. The creature the humanoid is dead there. What do you want to do?
What's left to kill?
Still the human with the sword. I mean, you've managed to give him a good thwack, but he's not quite gone yet.
I run towards him and.
Alright, yeah, so you basically do this amazing, like, I've got this shit. You roll off the horse, like fucking commando style, and you just completely lift your sword into its face and you cleave straight through it. So its brain section just like, and flees off behind it. So, you guys, the only things you've got left is the human female, the slightly shorter one with like the kind of like longish hair and carrying the fucking huge thing with red eye, and you have the spider currently eating the horse. I'm sorry.
My horse is okay though.
Your horse seems to be okay. It does have a spider on it, kind of, and it, you know, it's laying on dead things. It's not happy. It's getting itself back to its feet. Yeah, so it's generally okay, but very, very fucking spooked.
Okay.
What do you guys want to do now?
So what's alive again? Sorry.
The spider-eating horse,
Yeah.
and the kind of short human female, who's in the middle, and she's holding this fucking huge hammer. You can see that as you've actually beginning to look up her, you can see that the head of this hammer has a face on one end, and it's of this like screaming. You know who this is, don't you? It has this like screaming demonic face on it, and it's pointed at you. And you get this. You both get this strange feeling like there is something emanating from the eyes.
It's not beer, is it?
It's not bear.
Okay. I go towards this human with the two-handed axe, but I've also still got those shields on my.
Yeah, you still have the big shield. Yeah.
So,
Your movement isn't quite so great because you have these shields on, but you are still able to get good. But it takes much longer.
Yeah.
As you're moving towards, I basically like full on sprint. I use my bonus action to sprint.
Oh my god! bonus action.
So-
Bonus monkey
It's
juice.
a joke.
I use my bonus action to dash.
That's what
Actually,
Yeah, I basically
you reach out to the gods and you say, "I'd like to use my bonus action to dash," and you feel a pebble hit you square in the forehead. Like, what the fucking system are you using?
No.
Dude?
no, I do basically it's like
You're not.
I take a moment after landing to assess the situation and
Feel cool.
knowing what's and to feel awesome. Yeah. And basically just like full on sprint with like almost unnatural speed, but not actually obviously.
Almost like a bonus action. Yeah. Okay.
Straight towards this person with the hammer.
Okay, so you are probably steps behind him, but you do in fact make it there because you're covered in this freaking.
Flipped over like that, they'd be either side of her, one behind, one in front.
Well,
No.
she came off.
She came off the back of. She didn't go anywhere near these two. She's over here, and these two are fighting things over here.
I thought.
So she's in front of both of us.
Yeah, she
I
hasn't
thought
done
they
any
charged
flips.
forward.
She just jumped. No, they ran forward, but they also ran to meet them.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, it's a clashing of things.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, she's standing there. You've gotten there. You're probably about 3 or 4 steps behind because you're covered in all this crap and carrying a huge.
I have every intention to use my momentum to hit her. I'm not going to stop.
Okay.
That's the point.
Okay.
That's why I'm sprinting so
So
hard.
what are you doing? What are you aiming to do? She's carrying a big hammer. She looks very sturdy and very knowledgeable what she's doing. She's
I'm
undead. She's not
very
actually
much-
staring at you, but
Basically, I'm running towards her with a full expectation of the hammer's going to be swinging towards my head. So basically, my intention is to run towards her at full speed, and as she swings, to duck down and take her legs out. Try and trip her up.
that is so genius. All right, so you run forward. You almost anticipate the swing of this hammer, and you're correct. She does aim at hit height, and you basically skid in under her feet, and you take her out with one of your blow with your staff, and you hear this thunk as she hits the deck. And as you get yourself back up onto your feet, you realise you've slightly misjudged it very slightly, and you've tangled up the bottom of the legs, and you feel this thwack in your back, but it's not a full swing because obviously she's also landed and gone fuck this bump and hit you in the back. As she hits you in the back and you hear this resounding twang, it fills your ears and you can barely hear anything. This swang was it was not great, and it was on the back of your little shield on the back, and you hear this resounding and you can't hear anything. You just hear twang, 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 and it's almost building. What do you want to do? There is let's call her a dwarf laying on the ground holding a big hammer. And she's just hit Pete in the back with a resounding twang. It also hurts your ears, but nowhere near as bad as Pete.
I aim to basically cut off her head.
You want to aim to cut off her head?
Yeah.
Fucking excellent.
Traditional undead mechanism.
Yeah.
She's powerless without her head.
Yeah, she's powerless without her head. Okay, so yeah, you as she's got this swing off. You use that distraction as you've arrived 4 steps behind Pete, and you swing down hard with your axe, and you completely sever her head. And you hear more in your mind. You can't hear this at all. You hear like the thunk, dunk of things being hit, and then another head hit the ground, and you're aware that this thing below you has stopped moving, and you don't feel quite as cold as you did before. And yeah, you basically smack this thing down, and in your brain you hear this scream. Like a proper, like almost like a Wilhelm scream. Is that right? Yeah. You hear like a proper scream going off in your head, and you feel cold. And I'm going to be a real pain in the arse, and I want you two to leave the room for a minute.
Okay.
I see.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll chill outside.
I need you two to chill outside for a bit. I don't care if it's raining. You have to wait.
You'll come back in and I'll just be.
Wow, I've never had to do this before. This is so fun. Okay. As you swing your axe, you hear the scream in your head, and you realise this scream isn't coming from a creature. This is coming from you. This is coming from your soul.
Shit.
And you're an intense feeling of that cold feeling, which has been pervading you throughout this entire session since you started in the army, basically, and the undead have become a problem. You feel the very opposite. You feel like a burning, and you feel as if your very soul is burnt. And in fact, it is. Your soul has been burnt away in annihilation. What you are going to do now is you are going to be my minion.
Okay.
You have just killed Kaisa. You know this innately because her soul is transferring from that dead body to yours.
Okay.
Okay. So what you're going to do, what the aim is that you need to find as much information about their plan, who their leader is, and what you're going to do now. So when I nod at you, that will basically be the end of the game. That will be when I think you have enough information to tell them that they've been duped. Okay?
Okay, so I've got to find out who their leader is,
Yes, you need to know where he is
where he is.
and what they're planning their defence of this particular city is. So either they'll plan it or the general will plan it. So your idea is to make them make the plan, so you will have all the information. You have this telepathic link back to the hive mind, which is a shitty way of saying, the undead. So yes, you are now that. That is now your job.
I still act exactly as I did before?
You have only the vaguest memories of Lilian.
Okay.
You have the vague idea of who she is and how she acts, but you don't have all of her memories.
Okay.
You may not necessarily know their names, but there's a chance they may say them because, let's face it, the 2 boys are idiots. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'll go get the boys. Good luck with that. So basically, that will be your cue.
Okay.
You Dixon, come back now. Were you guys getting a bit cold?
No, Andy's meant to.
Oh, okay.
Snuck it in there.
Where are we?
All right. Essentially, Lilian has just cut the head off of Kaisa, and you're aware that she stumbled back a little bit as if she's a little bit shocked. But other than that, Kaisa is now dead. Sorry, everyone knew who Kaisa was anyway, so I thought I should just say her name.
Poor little new Kaisa.
You are still off on your horse. You're not particularly far away. This combat didn't take particularly long. But you are still
I'm going to be looking back to see what happened.
Oh, in that case, you see the horses go down, and you see Pete slide under the legs of the short human female, and you see the short human go down. You hear the twang, even from as far away as you can, and you see Lilian swing down with her axe, and you see the head flow off, and you can see this kind of black essence flowing away and just ebbing out and dissipating.
Okay. Seeing that they've...
Can I kill the spider that's eating my horse?
Yes, of course you can. You basically get up and yep, that's exactly what you do. The spider is also now dead. You're bereft of spider.
Seeing that they've now won this fight, I'm going to stop the cart to give him a chance to catch up, because seeing that his horse has gone down,
yep.
I'm assuming they're going to need a lift.
Yeah, probably.
If my horse is still alive, I will put it out of its misery.
Your horse is definitely dead.
Okay, that's okay.
I jump on Silver.
Undead.
Okay, it's not undead. It's just dead. Alright, it's friggin' dead. Silver is it's not reacting perfectly. It's not kind of reacting the way that you think it should. I mean, yeah, it's had a bit of a jump scare, but clearly this horse should be acting much better than it is. So, what do you guys want to do now? You're bereft a horse.
Is Silver undead?
I don't know. Have you inspected Silver?
I can't see it muzzle, I'm saying.
No. Silver is definitely a breathing, moving horse. You didn't sense it dying. You don't feel the cold or anything.
Do you want a lift?
That would be nice.
Jump up.
You get assisted up, and yeah, that goes on.
And that's when I start to feel the cut in my arm.
Like, damn cut in the arm. You got hit in the. Oh no, you felt the
I
slight
got
slash, yeah.
sliced.
And you didn't actually get hit with a hammer either, did you? You
No,
physically hit your shield.
hit
Alright,
my
okay,
shield.
I just wanted to double check.
Probably got a slight backache, but
You're pretty sure you're gonna have a ring of bruises
Yeah.
on your back. You're pretty sure there's gonna be a ring of bruises, but for now you're kind of travelling on. So you managed to catch up with Silver and Pete on your back of your horse. You made it back to the cart. So what do you guys wish to do now?
Hence the settlement.
okay, yeah.
Right, you guys make a bit faster travel to the rest of the city than you would otherwise have thought. Probably takes you about 40 minutes. You're definitely pushing the course hard, but there is going to be a stables, you're pretty sure, on the other end.
Cool.
And yes, as you arrive, there are a couple of people outside the gate. They're clearly in soldier garb. Clearly, it's kind of more like military. It's more like martial law that's happening here. It's fairly common in times of war, especially this one with the commander being here.
In times of undead incursion.
In times of undead incursion, yeah, military, yeah, that kind of law exists. So yeah, you're here. There's a couple of guys on the gate, and you have a like a small. He's a very lanky, kind of tall, red-head guy standing at the front with a spear, and he's spear in front of him. He's standing squarely in front of the gate, and he says, "What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be in the front line?"
Prisoner.
Right. You're sergeant, right?
Yeah.
All right. Report to the commander. And he steps aside and opens the gate. Gates pull open, and you can see it's as you go through the gates. You can see that behind it is very well secured. There's lots of iron banding on it. There's a couple of like really big fucking huge like oak beams across it, and they went through the ropes to get through this. It's taken some time to unbar this, and then they close it again and put it all back up together. You can see like once you're on the inside that it's kind of like wooden walls, but some places have been reinforced, like where the kind of streams and inlets are coming in and out of this city. And that you can see that there are like 2 or 3 different ways in. And ahead of you, you can see there is another kind of like another kind of wall area. And this is made of stone, it's a lot less breachable. But again, there are wooden gates in here, and there seems to be a couple that have been recently constructed, but not like before the undead, but not like built at the same time as the wall. And you can see that the mansion is up ahead too. So, where do you guys wish to go?
I guess towards the mansion.
I assume he's in the mansion.
We
Right,
should.
so you-
We should. Hold on. I will just check. And I approach the commanding people.
All right, so yeah, you approach one of the guard.
Yeah.
Probably that's like it's like a. So yeah, you find this like particularly burly woman. Just like, can I help you?
Where's the commander?
Oh, he's up in the mansion. Just your sergeant, right?
Yeah.
The front lines. Been inspecting you for a while, so yeah, he's gonna want to see you like right now. Just go
Cheers.
straight in, so you come from straight lines. No one will give you any problems.
Cheers.
Fat fuck it, I'll come with you. And she whistles, and this young lad comes in with a horse, and she climbs up on the horse, and she leads the way. Anyone who seems to even dare question you, she gives them a glance, and they seem to wither in front of you, almost as if she empowers the undead, but clearly not. She's just a very don't fuck with me kind of woman, and she takes you through all the checkpoints.
As we move on, I'm like, called it.
Cool. What?
He was in the manor.
Oh, all right. Where else would he be?
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You get my point. People come in and like, where the hell's the commander bloke?
He's in the bloody great house on the hill. Where
Exactly.
else is he going to be?
What the fuck are these people doing? You see, yeah, you do have this like blatant. You have the chat. You have the chat that all sergeants have when they're together about their commanding officers. Because you guys do the work, except you're not a sergeant, nor is she. But she's just very big and burly. Don't take shit from no one. So you two have this like kind of like generic chat about how shitty bosses are and how stupid some people can be. And yeah, and you get through all these checklists without a problem.
I just, you're just running with fuming.
Yeah, so you make your way through. She directs you in, she speaks to one of the guards, and she turns around and plods her way off. You are now at the entrance. There's a young page boy. He's clearly wearing the livery of the house and stuff, and he seems like quite a nervous young boy. And he's standing at the entrance. I'm here to take you to the commander. Yes?
Go on then,
Yeah.
Ivy, we ain't got all day.
I'm sorry. And he scoots in. I assume you guys are getting off your horses. Are you taking the prisoner with you or not?
Yeah, I'll grab the. Do you want to use your hook thing? 'Cause I don't really want to carry him.
I mean,
Alright, for the sake of brevity, there is a lot of fucking tartan in there, so you bundle him up in the tartan and you drag him the same
Yeah,
way you
I'll
were
do that.
dragged by Lilian. Alright, okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Alright, yeah, so yeah, they dragged you forward. You put him on there, you get that cold feeling, and yeah, you go through some other like equally nightmare hellish experience, which is basically a rehash of everything you've seen before. You probably saw what he saw, and you probably saw what he's seen. You're recycling through the memories. You're not quite sure what each other have seen, but this is going to happen for the sake of brevity and 25 minutes left. So, alright, so yeah, you put him on and you drag him into the place, and the little boy's like skitting ahead, and as soon as you approach the doorway where he's taking you through, he runs onto the next one because he's really scared of you guys. You just yelled at him, and he's only been a wee boy. And eventually you make your way into like the kind of the welcoming chamber, you know, where the guy would hold court and etc. And you see it's completely turned into a military zone. All the long tables have been turned into various maps. Some of them have actually just big ledgers on them, like filled with information, and people are hurrying and scurrying around all the time. And you see this very tall, very muscled bloke. He's not built like a shipwreck house, but he definitely looks like he'd take you in a bath, like kind of thing. And he has a grisly scar. You got sorry?
shipwreck house.
Shut up. So he's got a scar that goes from
Not
one
up
eye.
to my quality of brick shit.
Oh my god, will you just shut up, please? You see the scar that goes almost literally from the corner of his eye, not quite in the eyes, he still has it, and it goes down the side of his face, and you see it breaks and it goes down his chest presumably under his armour. He's wearing like kind of like your basic leather armour. It's not flashy, but it does the job. And he's standing there, people are coming left, right. You're not entirely sure how he's having to like 3,000 conversations once, but he's managing to do it. And he's looking over this big map and he's moving things. And you see him run a hand through his kind of like greyish hair, and he just takes a load of the counters and just, with regret, drops them off the board, and he moves some of those kind of like darker grey tokens further towards where his keep is. You can see his keep is on this map. What do you guys wish to do now?
I'm going to be like, "Oi, out the way!" and like shove people out the way so we can get through to the.
Yes, leave now. And he snaps his fingers, and everyone, almost on a dime, leaves. You have like that one person who's trying to grab his attention, like just stares at him. And the young chap turns and he walks off. It's now just you and the commander in this room. I've been expecting you for, well, a day or two now. How did it go? Do you have the prisoner?
I'll keep the blankets.
Most of him.
Most of.
The important bits.
He's still functional, right?
Yeah.
He's still alive.
Well.
Somewhat.
Understandable. So, thank you for bringing him. I'll have someone deal with him. Right now, I think your job is done. We thank you very much for this. And right now, I'm sorry to tell you, but we had notes through Raven. The front line has fallen, and they are, but maybe within 3 or 4 hours of this city. I'm not sure there's much we can do now, but
What's the plan?
now we defend with your help. If you wouldn't mind, any sword is good sword. We have too many civilians here. We're doing what we can to evacuate them. Any assistance in that would be most helpful. You guys have clearly come from the front line. You've clearly been through it. And he looks at your kind of mangled arm, and it's kind of remains the kind of the various cuts and bruises you guys are covered in, various bits of gore, that kind of thing. Because when you cut the head off, you become in gore. You become in gore. You become in gore. You're all covered in gore. So yeah,
Everybody's coming in.
everyone's covered in gore. So you guys, yeah, you know degrees of being covered in crap. You look like you've seen shit. And you probably fucking have. So yeah, he's like, if there's any assistance you could give on evacuating the people out, shoring up the defences, we would be most helpful. The guards here are more town guards, not militaries yourself.
What's the game plan on defending?
Momentarily, we are thinking about doubling up guards, getting people out. Is there anything you gentlemen could, or lady, think of to assist us in this?
Yeah, well, seal up entrances. Do you have anything that can burn? Any oil? Strong alcohol?
Not that we'd originally thought of that, but yes, we can, not that I like it, but we can raid the inns. That's not a problem. Would you mind being in charge of defending the walls?
Yeah, sure. One thing I do need is, have you got something that could cover this? Preferably something sharp and spiky.
It gives you a smile. Like, I'm pretty sure we can figure something out for you, young man. Good
I'll,
to have you on board.
I'll head off and start organising burning things on the wall.
Just wait a minute. We need to make sure our plan is
Okay.
sanctioned, so everyone is in agreement. I have a couple of other guys dealing with evacuating. What about yourself? What do you think you could lend to us? I see you are blind, but you've clearly made it here. Your expertise cannot be zero.
I'm not blind. I just can't see.
That's quite profound.
I was going to snort
That's
original at that point.
profound. We have, what is your name?
Gronn.
Gronn. We have Gronn defending the walls. What do you think you could assist in this manner?
I can train the men.
Okay, we only have a few hours, but
I can shore them up.
okay.
Bring them peace.
Bring them peace. We definitely require that. So perhaps I could have you in charge of training the, let's say, not guard, possibly peasant folk to defend the grounds. There is a killing ground which we're trying to evacuate as a minimum.
Yes.
If we could have you in there, are you perhaps versed in? I can see you come from a monastic tradition. Are you well aware of fighting within streets, that kind of thing? Is there anything you could
Of
consider
course.
that?
Easily. Close quarter fighting is kind of my specialty.
Excellent. That's fantastic. We can do walls. We can do ground. What do you think you could help with, Lilian?
I can do. I'm good with like direction and like game planning.
Excellent. I'll have you by my side. That's not a problem.
Mhm.
Actually, I think you'd be best assisted with these two. Actually, I can deal with evacuating the people then. So if I leave you in charge of getting these two, yourself, the walls is most important. Getting the groundwork protected is again most important. So we should go with that, and I shall get the people out best I can. The guard are here. There are probably about 150 of them, which we could lend to either of your age. You can use either. Whatever peasant folk. I don't know if we should call them that, but that's what they are in strategic terms. Any of them we could assign to you. If you don't think they're good enough, send them straight back. Tell them there's nothing wrong, but runners and such can be useful. So I will leave the planning of the defence to you people then, and I shall get what people I can out and get them further north towards the king himself.
Thank you, Commander. Sorry, I didn't catch your last name.
Oh, my name is Commander.
Fuss
Obvious.
Captain Obvious.
You can call me Kip.
Kip.
So my name is Kip. I shall meet back with you, and once you have your plan solidified, I shall get that implemented best we can. I shall get my people out, do what we can. The guard are yours to command. I shall let them know. And Kip gestures to the map of the city, which is fairly well laid out, and he goes off to deal with what he needs to go off and deal with. So you can see a map of the city. You can definitely see there are wooden walls around the outside. You can see where the gates have been marked off. You can see which ones they have well defended. You can see that there are some other gates here as well, but they don't see so much in the way of plans in there. You can see the stone wall around the kind of around the big mansion in the centre. And again, there's a couple of things marked on those, and a few like updates, like notes of like there's a hole in the wall here. Here's the sewers here, that kind of thing. You can see where the river flows through, and you can see that there are a couple of stacks of chips, like various little peoples and whatnot. And you can also see that there is a huge array of the undead army, which are slowly coming towards the city. And as you said, between 4 and 5 hours. So what do you guys wish to do in terms of planning? What do you think you can do? Any questions I will answer best I can, and then
We're looking at this, so have we got an inner stone ring, and
Yes.
then a shanty town, and then an outer stone ring?
correct.
How closely packed is the shanty town?
It's stuck mostly towards the stone side. So probably let's say about half the distance is filled up with closely packed shantytown. This originally would have been like a killing area, so you could have like separated them. But to be fair, the walls are made of wood. It looks like they're beginning to possibly build up, but they haven't quite got to that stage yet.
Are there any people in those shanty towns?
You would assume yes. As you came through, you saw a lot of people like rushing around and obviously trying to pack up and leave. Some of them are already obviously up and gone. You can see by some like derelict buildings and such like. But
I've got an idea. If we get all these people into the inner stone ring here, we let the undead come in through these walls, surround this bit, and then we light up the shanty town, burn it down with the undead in it.
I'm
Trapping
pretty
them.
sure of the evacuation for that plan, but
Well,
would work.
it would save us having to fight them. 1-on-1 with undead don't go well because
it would definitely
either you
take
win
down.
or they win.
It would definitely take a good portion of the eye. Not all of them. We're
Certainly
taking a
slow
good
them
portion.
down at the very least.
And with
Give us more time.
looking here, we've got this river. Is that from the inner bit?
The river kind of like it kind of goes through. It would pass through some of the wooden bits into the stone area and sort of out the other side. It's around the back of this little mansion area.
Do we have any boats?
There could be some rafts built. Yes, not necessarily boats on this, but
No,
yeah.
but enough that we could get people down the river.
Yes, you
Because
absolutely
if
can.
we set
Yep.
the fire, then open the gates and get the people down the river out there. We leave the undead burning in the middle, and the people go out down the river.
You could definitely get people down the river for sure. Yeah.
Gets them away from the fire.
It would also evacuate them for sure. Not necessarily in the direction they'd want to go, but it would definitely evacuate them out of this particular city. There's no reason they couldn't pull in further along and then head north towards where the King's Keeps are.
And with less undead of them, we can burn up in the shantytown. Which
Yep.
That's what I think. What do you guys reckon?
Okay, well that sounds good, but they will eventually get through into the stone ring, and I doubt we'll be completely finished with the evacuation. So I guess I'll gather up as many peasant folk as possible, try my best to get them armed with anything possible if they're willing and able. I won't take anyone who doesn't volunteer.
Right. So
Okay.
how are you going to work with those particular people? Actually, I'll get back to you in a minute on that, Darren. I'll instruct you on that.
If you want to go off and do that, which gates did you say were unmanned?
So you have like the one that you came in through the wood, and that's pretty well. There are probably like two others in that particular area. In the stone, there's probably one main entrance, which is almost in line with the one from the wooden one, and then you have like four other ones which are like brushed into this shanty town. Some of them are pretty small, being marked on the map, but you can't be 100% sure because you haven't seen these yourself. Some of them could be, clearly marked as being pretty big, and only like one or two of them have like handwritten notes of like defend this or some such. One of them is you can see that he's scribbled something down, and it looks as though like there's a definite hole in the wall which they haven't packed with anything. People were just using it to pass in and out. There were no gates in this particular one, and that's in one of the kind of holes between the wooden area and the stone.
I would suggest manning that hole would probably be the best.
Yeah, I think if we go and just barricade the outer gates, that should hold them until there's a big mass of them, and then when they spill through into the middle, there'll be enough of them there that'll make worthwhile setting this place ablaze. And we don't want to lose men defending the outer wall because they'll get through anyway. But if we hold them up long enough that there's a big group of them, then it'll make it worthwhile burn them when they come in.
Okay.
And then we'll fall back to the inner wall. So just a few men on the outer walls to see what's going on. As soon as they breach, fall back to the middle. That's or whatever flammable stuff they get from the inns. Just soak the bits nearest the walls, so we can just throw a torch down through the stone walls, and everything will go up.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
You good with that?
Yeah.
Might want to try and get some heavy weapons for those peasants. The best thing to do is try and take off limbs and stuff. It's even if it doesn't kill things, it certainly stops them being able to fight back.
There will be tools and likely some spare weapons. It's been a war. Most of the soldiers who have weapons will probably be dead.
If
There will
you
be spares.
if you try and get all the try and organise the movement of all the undead into the centre, I will find the flammable material needed.
Okay. I'll go and start organising the outer wooden defence then to try and...
Alright, so you're
Shore
going
it
to
up a
prepare
bit.
everything for this big fire.
No, I'm going to go try and basically, so the outer wooden wall,
Yep.
I basically want to hold it up so that the undead can't just immediately walk through it.
Yep.
We want to build it up so there's a big group of them outside, and then
Yep.
once there's a large group of them, we'll then let them break through and they can then swarm into the shanty town.
And then set that on
And,
fire.
yeah, and then we'll all fall
Okay.
back.
I'll set
So-
that on fire.
And then you
Yeah,
can
that's
set fire.
perfect. So you're going to spend some time. Basically, you gather a group of like physically able people, and they help you barricade. You literally break down parts of walls. If the house is made of wood, fuck it, it's been taken down. You basically barricade as many of these doorways as you can, and you hold them up. You're fairly certain it's going to be pretty good. You reckon you've got this. This will make a big swarm once they breach. May not necessarily be at the same time, but when they breach, a load of them will come through and they will swarm into this kind of shanty town. And yeah, you make good work of like knocking down some of these houses, especially some of the wooden ones, pulling anything out you can in the very limited time you have, and like stacking them up so that you can create a decent fire when it goes. And you're fully expecting accelerant.
Yes, I think that's what she's sorting out.
Okay, so At the moment, you are doing what?
I'm basically trying to gather as many people as possible to start training them. Quite a quick crash course in effectively self-defense.
Okay, so you have
Light martial
before
arts.
you say like 150 guards. They're wandering around. You set them on their patrols. Are you putting any of them
Yeah, they're
patrolling
fine.
the outside wall, or are you just bringing
That's
them all
what I'm
in?
doing. So my guys are shoring up the defences and keeping an eye out.
No, I mean when you actually when you're ready for when the fight begins. Are you having anyone manning those walls on the outside?
Yeah, I'm going to stay out there with a few troops, not many, just to keep an eye out and see when it's going to breach so they can shout a warning and everyone can fall
And
back.
then everyone falls back. So you're going to do like a little scouting mission forward, and then when it breaks or about to break, you go, fuck it, we're off. When they bolt back, okay.
Also, need someone to build some rafts as well so these people can get down.
Okay, so the generals come back and he explains that the evacuation they will put through river,
You mean
and
the
there
commander?
is
You mean the commander?
yeah the commander. Sorry,
I guess
the
he's
commander.
double the rafts.
Yeah, Commander Kit comes back and he's organised as much of the evacuation as possible. He's sending women and children and a couple of able-bodied soldiers with them because if they went up there on their own, they're going to get squashed. I mean, it may be one person, but he can provide enough time to get those other people away. So he explains this plan. Some of them are going to go along the raft river, which he takes note of your suggestion, deems that to be a good enough idea, and he sets a couple of people to building these rafts. They're not going to be a lot, but they will get a lot of people out a lot faster than he'd originally planned of literally just walking through the top. So they'd originally walking out the top of the north, heading straight north, people taking some things with them. Some of them are heading down river, sort of almost like perpendicular to the head raft. So you guys are all aware where all these villages and such like are going. And you are currently training the men, right?
That's right.
Right,
I'll
so
try and find a nice open space, like a monastery would be.
you
Basically
say,
taking them through drills.
let's say you have like 50 of them, and some of them are getting it, some of them are really adept at it. You think, yeah, do you know, I think we might stand a chance. And then you remember that it's a horde of undead, and these people are all probably going to die anyway,
I think
yourself
they're,
included. But they may be more at peace with themselves. And yeah, you go through this training montage with them, and you sort of like do like the kind of thing, and they learn this, and they spend about
Everybody's coming through the
fighting.
To be
Yeah,
honest,
so
I was more thinking the we were like, I'm gonna make you.
you were mad.
man.
So you spend about 2 hours thinking that actually if you spend any more than that, they're going to be too tired to fight when this fight comes. And so yeah, you spend a good time with that, and you think they're getting on well. With more practice, they'd definitely be good, but you don't have the time.
Right.
So you train them up and you get them.
They
And
just have to slow them
so
down.
sort of like between you now have like 200 of you. You're very aware that this is probably going to kill you. The horde coming in, you guys have seen it, you fought it. You know that this shit is going down, and you're aware, and the commander informs you that the prisoner you brought here is actually going to be going further north, because he didn't realise how quickly the undead would be turning up. So, you know, that is going to be escorted north, but he says he's going to stay here with you during the fight.
Is this Kip?
Yeah, this is Kip. So Kip is going to stay. He's going to stay with his men. He's loyal to his men, so he's going to stay here and help out and such like.
You should go.
No, I'm going to stay.
Why?
This is my city. This is my home.
It's about to be burnt to the ground.
It's my home.
It's gonna be a
When
pile
my
of ash.
home goes, I'll be dead. This is my home we're fighting for. I've lived here. I've breathed here. I've had my children here. I am not leaving the city. Not
Okay.
while there are other men here.
I feel that's a noble choice.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Clearly a soldier here.
Yeah, but your children are going north unprotected if you stay.
No, the longer I stay here, the more time they have to run.
Okay. Your
I
choice.
would give them as much chance to live as I can, even if that means my last breath.
Just be sure to take down more than one.
I am definitely sure of that. And you see him like pats the sword he's carrying on his side. This is clearly a sword for killing, not for like, you know, making look good, like putting out, haha, this is shiny. He's like, no, it comes out with like a sting of noise. That's how like visceral this weapon is. You guys feel this presence of cold emanating around you.
Before we go into bed, I'm going to kind of wave my stump. Like, did you find me something for this?
Oh yeah, we did. And yeah, he brings it out to you in a box. It's something that you would like strap to your forearm, except that the straps have gone all the way around, and it's slightly been pulled, so that one side is actually, you know, it's very central, and it's basically this like just big meat hook.
Nice.
It's a fucking big hook. So you now have that, and you have your sword.
Cool.
Um,
I've got my axe.
Okay. All right. So as you guys, you feel this cold presence. You know the undead are coming, and you realise everything you've done. It comes down to this now, and you guys, you are going up.
I'm with the men on the outer wall.
Okay. So you two and Kip are standing up on the stone wall, and you're overlooking all of this shit going on. Right. because there's no point beginning the fight because the fight isn't here yet. So you go up and you stand on these walls. There's Kip, there's Lilian, and there's Pete, and you've gone ahead with your little scouting crew, and you scramble your way up there, and you see the undead horde coming, and then you get that moment of doubt when you think, maybe I should have gone north. As you see the trees vibrating, there's no real wind at the moment, and the sun is setting, and you can see everything vibrating, and then you see the undead. And you realise that everything moving, all this kind of grey, blackish, bluish colour, you can see that now. And it's all coming towards you. And this city is fucking surrounded. I mean, there are creatures coming in. There are creatures that are clearly veered off towards where the river is. And they're standing there, almost as if they're waiting with their weapons handy. There are creatures coming towards you. There are a couple of very big... kind of more like big animals and big creatures with kind of like snarling faces, and you can hear the roars from where you are. You guys, actually possibly you probably not so much. And you see that these creatures are bounding for the different doors, and they're banging in on the barricades themselves. And you can see the undead horde like pushing in behind them. What do you want to do?
I'm going to jump up on the wall, expose my buttocks to them, and do a little dance, and like, come on, have a go, you think you're hard enough, and try and annoy them as much as I
they
can.
don't have projectiles.
They are not paying any mind to you at all. These big creatures are just pounding their way through the walls, through the barricades. But some of them are actually even pounding their way through the walls. You can see like a very big detachment now has gone off to the side of where the river kind of area is, and they are surrounding it. Not only are they surrounding it, they are climbing their way into it and standing up on the other side, and some of them are being held up, some in the water, some are being held up above their shoulders, almost as if they're anticipating, almost as if they're waiting for something.
Okay.
And some of them circle around to the other side of the river as well. And you can see that this army is beginning to split itself and surround the entirety of where you are. They aren't just pushing forward in your front gates anymore. They are circling around.
Okay.
Being that this is a pretty big expanse, they are clearly making their way around. They're clearly making the decision, a tactical decision, to not all barrel their way through the front. Your barricades are falling. What do you want to do?
I'm going to try and assist the men with holding up the areas that go about the most in danger of falling. So basically delay the collapse as long as possible.
You put your shoulder into it. The men come around you, and you feel this bump, 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 and then you hear crack, and a piece of this barricade just flies inches from your head, and you feel this creature reach in and grab you by the skull, and you think, fuck, this is curtains. And indeed it is, and you feel your brain and your skull crunch and mush, and then it's peaceful blackness for now.
Okay.
You're dead. I gave you the chance.
That's fine.
Okay. It is weird that you didn't run back, but
No,
That was his choice. It was his choice.
You
You guys up on the wall, you can see that the barricades have fallen, and that's it. They're all rushing towards you. Now what do you want to do?
you've got the command. I'm going to go down to my men.
Attack!
What? They're not in. Wait, they're not in.
You
Follow
are
the
aware
plan.
as you turn and she screams, attack! That her entire visage has changed. Her voice is far deeper than it used to be. She is emanating cold and fire at the same time. And you feel as if the air is being displaced as she suddenly gets larger and taller. And as she brushes against you and Kip says, what the fuck is happening here? You feel her arm brush against yours. And it is cold, like you felt cold from that kind of weird fucking creature, but you feel this cold emanating up your arm and slowly spreading up your arm, despite that internal deity fire that you had going. That's it. You know this is too late for you.
I wrap my arms around her and try and lift her up and launch myself off the wall.
Wow, that's amazing.
Before I go, it's like, you got this, Kip.
Okay, you dive over the edge with Lilian with you, and you dive over the edge, and this fall is probably about, I don't know, what's fatal, 40 foot?
40 foot, yeah.
40 foot, should we say 40 foot?
60 foot.
Fuck it, let's say 60 foot, right? This is a fucking stacked wall, right? So you jump off, and you both go crashing into the ground, and you feel crunch!
You have the stacks of firewood at the bottom as well.
There are definitely pointy stacks of firewood, and you are very aware in the last presence. There's no accelerant here. You would have smelled accelerant. Why didn't you smell the accelerant this close? And then you crash into the ground. And that's the last that you feel for now.
Well, on my way down, I'm praying probably. But, yes.
Unfortunately, no matter the amount you have just died.
Oh no, I know, but I die peacefully.
You die peacefully. All right.
I'm afraid.
So yeah, you crash into the ground. Your body is broken and wrecked, and you feel life ebbing away from you. And Lilian,
Yeah.
as you were now, Kesa, you feel this now smack into the ground, and you think, fuck, because Pete has actually angled your head into the ground first, and you know that's a killing blow. You think, fuck, I've gone this far, but at least my people know where the villagers are going, and you smash into the ground with that kind of last happy moment in your mind. And that's the end of your little mission tonight.
We don't get to know what happens.
I was gonna give you like a way that your characters could have gotten through this after Lilian revealed herself, but you already died and you decided to jump off the water. I'm like, well, that's exciting characters.
I'll be completely honest, I thought I was already dying.
You were close to
brushed
it.
and it was growing.
You
and it
pretty
was
much,
coming
yeah.
through.
You
I
pretty
wasn't going to run away, and I wanted to try and hold them back as much as possible.
Okay, let's do like the epilogue, shall we? All right.
I'm happy with my
Wait a minute.
guys.
Let's do the epilogue. Okay, so you see like Kit crawling away. You see him crawling away from this, and and he looks up and he sees his beloved city burning to the ground. He has a few men with him who've literally dragged him away from the fire, going, "Fuck, this thing has turned into a demon next to us. We are fucking hightailing it out of here. There's no fire going on. There's nothing." And you see him being pulled away by his men, and they push him back onto his feet, and they're like, "Commander, what do we do now, Commander?" And he's just lost in the moment, and he just says, "We head north. It's the only thing we can do now, and fuck that prisoner. We fuck that prisoner right up." And they turn around and they sprint off north. So a very small group of people have made it away from the city. That's your epilogue. There we go. That's the end of your game.
That was awesome. I really like that.
I can't believe you stayed.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay.
Of course it did.
More importantly, you jumped off a fucking wall with her. That was amazing, man.
Had to take her out.
That was amazing.
My dude was going to hold them back as long as he could.
You did. You brought
We-
some time for the
We
villagers.
both died heroically.
You did.
Can't believe I managed to get through all of that without having to say their names.
Yes. No. Gronn did. Gronn said his name.
Hmm.
Because the commander asked him his name. So what's your
Oh,
name?
yeah.
My name's Gronn. I just forgot to ask what his name was. Wow, that was fun.
That was awesome.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed
Very
that.
different. Very
That was so cool.
Yeah.
I'm really,
Yeah, I
I'm really
remember that.
happy with my guy's death. I think that was aptly heroic.
Yeah. I think it kind of was. It was nice.
I'm unhappy that I'm dead, but
You're happy that I'm.
He's a one-shot character. He's a one-shot character. One-shot characters
Yeah.
either die or make it in show
I
business.
think that wraps my character up quite nicely. I think
Yeah.
he finally went off doing something.
He wanted to fight the undead, and then his head got crushed. Technically, you also would have now been you would have been turned into the undead, except I crossed your skull and kind of miscalculated that bit. But I was like, fuck it, too late. You're no longer undead because you've crushed your head hitting the ground, and you no longer get to continue being my bitch. So
I'm sorry, but Lilian would have been awesome had she not become a minion.
yes. There are a couple of ways that someone could have been converted.
As
into
soon as you're like, just stand outside because the ghostly possession is going on, I was like, alright, fine. But I didn't let that affect my character decisions.
no, it was
I
good.
didn't. I actually honestly didn't suspect anything. I didn't think that's what.
There were a couple of things.
I wasn't sure whether you suspect or not.
Yeah, there were a couple of things that I could have done with sending people out. Like the one was literally like your divine origin. I thought, well, that'd be a pretty nice thing, and you have information from your god saying yada yada and all this. I was like, no, fuck it, it's too dark. Let's make it darker. We could do this shit. There were a couple of different like send out moments that I could have done in different ways, but that was the one I ended up going with because that was the first thing that triggered it. There were a couple of different triggers. I so thought you were going to kill the general. I thought, yes, now you get to become my bitch. No, you didn't. You didn't kill the general. I was like, fuck. Killing Casey was a trigger. Definitely would have changed a couple of things. So yeah, there was Casey's hammer. If anyone started wielding that, probably would have done a similar thing. So yeah, there were lots of different little triggers that we could have used, but either turn into my bitch or turn into like a deity's bitch. But that wasn't how it turned out. So it was fun.
That was cool. I'd be happy to play in that world again.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would say
Although
thanks.
the world sounds fucked.
Yeah, well, that's true, yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool working in that kind of world because you can be like one of the lost survivors, or like you could be another soldier from the battle that managed to make it out, or you could be one of the villagers or one of the soldiers with the villagers
Yeah.
who went north or south and be like.
Yeah, it's so when Skag played it with us, I got less information than you guys did. I got nothing. Love you a bit, Skag, but I got nothing. I was like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm a blacksmith named Armin. That'll do." So that was really tough, but really fun. As long as you play with it responsibly, it's a good way to play.
I think he was alright. You called it God moment. I thought it was fine.
There are a couple
You
of
said
governments.
that we can walk into place and say we have something. He did that.
Yeah, but then so we were saying I'm lying about it. It's like, no, I don't. Oh.
Well, there's a difference between you saying something and being true.
Yeah,
I,
see,
I
this-
said it.
Yeah,
but
this
it
is
wasn't
why we need to establish character voices when we play,
Yeah,
because
I
then I know
wasn't
what
speaking
you're actually
character
playing and what you're doing.
Because the idea was that my guy was going to go in there and, like, you know, it's like, crap, we
Steal
need to get out here quick. I'm going to steal a horse.
Yeah.
because we need to
It
get out
was
quick.
genius. When we did it, we didn't have horses. We didn't for a very long time. In fact, I think we did it all. But yeah, when we played it, it's very slightly different. There are a lot of different plot points that were different, but I had really good fun mixing this up with you guys.
I find character voices really hard to make up.
Yeah, I find that either you go higher, you go lower, or you go slower. So you don't necessarily have to do a voice. You can change the way you talk, like using longer words, pausing in sentences. Pausing is a great way to develop a character, especially if they're powerful, because they don't need to waste time. Or like, you know, physicalities and stuff, because it helps you get your mindset and other people to figure out whether you're playing or not. For example, if your character is constantly like playing with their hair, as you notice when I play James, constantly doing that.
Oh yeah.
So I don't necessarily have a voice for James. He's a little bit deeper. Me,
I
and
just
versus Andrew,
I
so-
try and kind of slur slightly and talk in a more rhythmic way.
Yeah, exactly. Rhythm is actually a good way to set up a character too. So yeah, it's a good way to establish when you're playing or not. Obviously, we didn't use cucumber tonight because I didn't think we needed it, so I wasn't going to throw that one out there. When you said was it apple, blue, I was like,
Blue.
oh, it could have
Safe
been
word.
cucumber. That would be amazing, but not. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I really enjoy playing that.
I liked it.
I was shitting myself
That was
figuring out
fun.
this game this afternoon.
It's fun doing it in a different setting like that without dice. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's quite cool because you can actually just do the things you want to do. Like when the dude was about to run away, and it's like, I just hack his leg off, and it's like, it actually works. Like,
Actually,
holy crap!
the great
That's
thing
what I
is
would've rolled a box with,
when you
but alright.
also include things you fuck up, like falling off your horse. I thought it was brilliant because
Yeah.
if you start working those things in there,
Yeah.
you know that becomes like really more intensive, and obviously you have a lot more like character talking about how things happen and all that good jazz. So that's more interesting.
It's
To
like
me.
when my guy was trying to wield his axe with one hand. His great two-handed axe in one hand. It was just like, oh, this isn't as effective as it would normally be.
Yeah, it's like you're left-handed. You got nothing, man. You got nothing.
I was like, but handily, he's like a prone target that I've got my foot on his back, so it's not too difficult to swing roughly at the stump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you think was? What did you enjoy? What do you
It was
have?
really cool. It's difficult not knowing what I can and can't get away with.
It's just being reasonable.
Because being reasonable. So I wanted the divine to be a bit more of my character, but didn't
Yeah,
know
we
how
didn't
far
really
I could
run-
take it.
That's the thing, though. If you think it's a step too far, it probably is.
Yeah.
So I generally roll along those lines. So it's one of the systems that I think that I've seen played and have played in. You generally just have to get used to it, and then just go. If I was GMing, would I say that was a step too far? If the answer is yes, then it's probably a step too far. At least I just tend to play like reasonably. It's like reasonably you can't like cut him in the head and then dodge every attack that comes in.
Yeah.
So just roll with the punches, you know, just if someone says that, yeah, fucking go for it, see what happens. That was a big exercise in me saying yes. A huge exercise in me saying yes to things. It may be yes and something else happens, like losing your frickin' hand, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to go for some guy who wasn't particularly intelligent, didn't
Yeah.
really think things too much. He just kind of acted. He didn't really consider
Yeah.
things too much. Like most of my characters would have been like, "Huh, interesting. There's a spirit going through into the man. We should probably deal with that." My guy was just like, "Oh, stop the fairies!"
Yeah. No, it's a great part of doing a one shot is that you can take that sort of damage and it doesn't completely ruin the game later on. Sort of thing. So-
Like
Yeah,
using a
it's-
hand, it's like, "Oh, all my
Yeah, I
two-handed
don't-
weapons."
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever run a campaign like this
No.
because I'd find that really difficult to work with. This was okay because it's not exactly scripted. There were so many different things that you guys could have gone to, like the little village. That was never in my fucking plan, but we went there anyway. You know, and the little creatures that attacked you. You know, fucking plan for those guys. Thing. The regenerating thing. That was never in my fucking plan. I just had like a vaguely. This is a vague thing here. This is a vague thing here, and I know what the world is because this world is something I've played in. B, things that I've written around already in like various other settings and other writings and stuff. So I already knew the world. I had all that prepped. I just had to remember the specifics on what the trigger moments were for commandeering one of your characters. If you triggered at all, I thought you weren't. I honestly thought you were never going to trigger, but you did. I'm like, yes, fuck yeah. So I had those little moments, but yeah, I wouldn't want to play a campaign in that. But
I
one
think-
shot is great.
I think the problem with it doing a campaign would be everything is like combat encounters are pretty much like one person kills the other person.
Not necessarily. It can
disables
go for
them.
a very long time.
Hmm.
I mean, to be fair, it could be the same as like, you know, he hits you with a sword, but she's covered in arse, so it's going to
Yeah.
take a very long time to batter her way through. And to be fair, killing people is actually not that quick. Generally, if you stab them with a sword, they're probably out of commission for a little bit. So that's kind of a bit more realistic. But Yeah, I think campaign probably not. One shots. I love this as a one shot.
Yeah, I think it's a really good one shot. Because it keeps everything going quickly as well. You don't get bogged down in combat. It's literally like.
Yeah, like my prep notes for when we do Spiced, there is a lot of mechanic stuff written in there, like hit points and how we work out exposure and how we work out shit combat and all that good crap. So there's lots of like meta things I have to have written down, which usually takes me about 2 pages. This was probably about 3/4 of a page of prep. A good couple of hours worth of prep because I had to figure out exactly how some of these things would work and and how we could get away with it. But it was interesting.
Good.
What about you?
I really enjoyed secretly working against people.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? It's so fun.
I did like the fact that the accelerant hadn't been placed down.
I purposely skipped over it. Like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now you're up on the wall. I was like, I really hope nobody calls me out on that because I know that you're not going to go get it. Because I had that moment with you. You're like, yeah, I'll do the fuel. Excellent. I purposely had to not look at you when you were like. It was beautiful.
Had you gone there, I would have gone and got the accelerant. I just wouldn't have put it on there.
It was just beautiful. It's like, you would have gone, she's not going to put fuel on. I'm not looking because this is fucking perfect. It was great. I really
That's why I did it. It was sort of like, I'll do it.
Yeah, it's something that I think we've done in one of our roleplay sessions before where we played the mole, where someone was, I think you were the mole, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were the mole. I think we were playing with Belle. Yeah, you were the mole. So you were working against us.
Yeah.
So you were working against us. And I don't think I've ever played a game where I've made someone play against the other characters in a very subtle way because I was also like, what if she fucks out? What if she does things too early? Damn it, what if they find her out? Because I haven't given her any information other than you're on my side, bitch. Oh, fuck, what do I do? I just let it roll and just didn't make a big deal of anything. And it was said, you're going to get a few. I'm like, this is amazing. This was so good.
After you'd given all the plan, I was like, shit, have I forgotten something that I meant to be doing?
No,
She's not tapping the table. She's not tapping the table.
I wanted to give them a chance to have a death or to run away because basically, the point in which I tapped, regardless of whether you died or didn't when I tapped, one, because we were 3 minutes from the end of the game, and two, is that would have been the perfect moment that the thing didn't set on fire as you would expect it to. And, everything's gone down. They're waiting for the humanoids and stuff. All this information had been relayed back to the hive mind, so to speak. So I kind of wanted that reveal, and then I was going to give you a description of either how you make it out or how you die. And you guys both fucking died anyway. I'm like, well, like that. I'll write some sort of epilogue and see what happens. So.
It felt very heroic fantasy.
You were, yeah. It was great, yeah. I didn't want to kill you off too early. There were so many moments I could have killed you, but I'm not going to get you to the end. That's also a breathing point on this is that, there's no hit points to track. So if you take what would have been a mortal blow, you taking 20 hit points with a death, well, you've only got 9 hit points, so you're fucking dead. So I don't need to describe any of that bullshit. There's no mechanics to keep an eye on.
I was fully expecting when you started mooning the army that an arrow was going.
I was tempted, but I thought that wouldn't have been particularly heroic. I wanted to give you something.
To be honest, surely not having to keep an eye on all the mechanics and everything, surely that's more realistic as well, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's
the fact that some people can take people can be run through by something and still be like, holy crap, that apparently doesn't do as much damage as other people can take
Thirsty
a sword over the head.
Thirsty was saying to me it's called shadow play, where in theory the DM has all your stats. So they have your hit points and your mana and stuff like that, and they keep a track of that themselves, so that you don't actually know how many hit points you've got left. The same as in real life, you can't quantify your life. It's well, you take this. But fuck trying to track. I mean, some of our games are 7 people. Fuck tracking 7 people's worth of health. Screw that for game soldiers. This is more definitely mechanics light, and I wouldn't necessarily throw them at new people who've never played before. But I trusted you guys not to be dicks. And I think I trusted you wisely. I think we went in pretty well with that, but yeah, it's definitely a style in which I would. It's a lot easier to write a story because there's only certain places you'll be able to go with it, and you control a lot of the information. There's no meta. I roll for information, so you see what you see, and that's basically it. So yeah, this is definitely a one-shot thing for me, and definitely wouldn't ever be a campaign. Fuck, this is a campaign.
It's a cool idea though. I like the world.
Yeah, the world is. I think I described it. Is called. It's not grim dark. There is a high dark fantasy or something. Phrasing. Forest Gang will probably correct me, but I don't know what it's called. I call it grim dark and grim dark.
I just saw it.
He's just sending you paragraph.
Yeah, close enough to being Undead. Yeah. Oh well, Skag. Well, this is why I don't check out.
He's just sent a wall of text.
I'll get back to reading that in a minute. I promise you. All right. So unless anyone has anything else they want to throw out, we'll start wrapping up.
No, that was everything.
Good. Well, that wasn't a waste of a night, so that's fucking great. All right, so I guess we better say goodbye to everyone. So who are you? Where will we find you?
I am Tech Puppet. You can find me on the Twitters at techpuppet_ or tech_BTP.
Are you taking over 30's inability to pronounce your own Twitter name?
It's at tech_BTP. There we go. I was getting it mixed up.
And also, website?
And you can find us at bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk.
No,
and
your
you
website.
can also find me at gvstudios.co.uk. So if you need any technical support issues or you've got some IT projects planned, you can go on there and get in contact with us and we can help that.
Mostly it will be me helping you out, and there's some very dodgy pictures on there which is fucking rad. So go to that. Who are you and where can we find you online?
I'm Dev. You can find me at dev_BTP on Twitter. And also at bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk. Yeah, that's it.
Alright.
I am Killer Kitten, and you can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at KillerKitten21.
Excellent. I'm Blood Puppet. You can find me on Twitter at AA_Unola. You can also find me on Sunday night on Encounter Roleplays Twitch channel, where we will be doing table talks where we talk about GM advice and all that good stuff, so that's kind of fun. The new episode of AA drops on Monday and it's a doozy, really cool, really fun. I haven't actually finished listening to the episode because no one has sent it all yet, and I don't quite know what's going on, but I know it's a good doozy. I remember it being really awesome. On Tuesday night you'll find me on Skaghead's Twitch channel, where we are possibly continuing Lord of the Rings, The Council, or maybe playing a different game. Don't really know, but there's a word RP in there, so I'm frigging there. I think that's actually me for this week. The only things that turn up again is next Sunday and Monday, so that's it for me. Right, yeah, so you can find me on Twitter at AA_Unola. You can find us on bloodthirstypuppets.co.uk. You can find the missing puppet at thirsty_BTP. And I think that's pretty much it. So drink up, time at the bar, and I'll eat those bitches.
Jazz
Jazz hands! Woo! The singular hand. Come on, dude.